My name is Erica Lorraine Spencer, and I remain subject to state surveillance and terrorism by the state of California that is operating a malicious targeting system, which is referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices. And it is in violation of federal stalking statute 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsections 1 and 2. My website and podcast serve the public good by publishing evidence of the public entity's ceaseless engagement in a pattern of conduct intended to stalk and monitor via communication devices, surveil, harass, and terrorize an American citizen in concert with the people of the state of California. Documentation serves the lawful purposes of wide exposure, federal prosecution, and influencing federal legislation with policies specifically designed to punish, dismantle, and disincentivize an unprecedented targeting system by a public entity that acts in concert with the people of the state in order to criminally place under surveillance and terrorize an American citizen, which is a matter of public corruption in the state of California. Okay, what you're listening to is amplification of noise inside of the bathroom. So you're mindful of the fact that impossible light activity is appearing inside of my hotel room on the ceiling, my shadow on the ceiling, the impossible light on the floor, my shadow on the floor, the fake sun outside of my window. This is where demons are maintaining corporate presence, and it's criminal, and it's relevant to what is a sex offense. While my genitalia is exposed, the entity maintains noise inside of the bathroom with regard to what is monitoring. This is surveillance, and it's a sex offense committed by the entity. And right now at 2:02 a.m., the entity starts the sound of what is airflow coming through the sound of the ceiling, coming from the location of the ceiling above me with simultaneity to my literally putting my phone down and documenting the demon in room 410, planting his or herself directly above me inside of this bathroom and stalking with noise. This demon was hitting the floor, which is my ceiling, with simultaneity to my physical movement. That's a sex offender that engages in things, again, analogous to engaging in the sex offense of group stalking a woman in a hotel room at all moments, including her genitalia while she's nude, while she's in the bathroom. This sex offender is planting themselves in relevant position directly above me and doing so with regard to hitting the floor, which is heard directly above my head, which is the ceiling, which is again amplification. And they're doing so at what is 2 o'clock in the morning as I document this on my phone, which is subject to surveillance at 1:57. The moment that I put my phone down and stop typing and walk right back into the bathroom, immediately this noise occurs. That's called stalking with audible activity, and it's not different, nor is it separate, nor is any federal investigator and anyone else ignorant about the ongoing obsession that's exhibited while a state full of sex offenders are monitoring and are obsessed with my genitalia. This is what Courtyard by Marriott, this is Marriott Bonvoy, a violent sex offender, a domestic terrorist, and a gang stalker. That's how they're going to be prosecuted. This is what they were doing in Nevada. This is what they're doing in Monrovia. This is the state of California, and they are fully engaged in group stalking while the building itself is not only making up the specific environment where the fake sun and engineered light is present on the inside and outside the engineered light, but also the demons who they are organizing. Marriott is fully engaged in the organization of federal group stalking and monitoring, while the hotel rooms are the means whereby the building itself is a facilitation, the specific environment, using the sounding of running the toilets or running the sink or taking a shower is not something that's ordinarily going to disrupt you inside of the bathroom. By the way, the entity is doing so with regard to amplification of noise, doing so pursuant to the same exact pattern. As I walk in, this is Marriott Bonvoy that's engaging in what is a massive sex offense. The damages are designed to literally devastate Courtyard by Marriott. This is corporate sexual violence. This is corporate gang stalking that I'm subject to in a hotel room. This is not a horror flick. This is group stalking that Marriott Bonvoy is engaged in and is literally organizing while placing the demons, who are the people of the state, in hotel rooms all around me. And Marriott engages in what is obstructing justice, increasing that criminal conduct, that terrorizing environment in real time while they're monitoring my phone in violation of Title 18 and doing so with the intent to obstruct justice. That is terrorize, harass, intimidate, retaliate, threaten my life and safety and well-being even more because I'm enforcing my rights. That the fact that Courtyard by Marriott Bonvoy should not be monitoring my genitalia. They should not be obsessively consumed with keeping me under surveillance in the bathroom or anywhere inside of this hotel, let alone my hotel room, which is exactly what is going on when you see the impossible light activity that's captured in video, when you see the fake sun that's outside of my hotel room window, which is a scientific impossibility, speaking to the intentional engagement of the elements of monitoring that you just heard inside of a bathroom. This is a corporate actor that's an admitted sex offender, and it's going by the name of Courtyard by Marriott. This is recognizing the prosecution for the state. Every employee, let me name these sex offenders who are going to federal prison again. The sex offender, her name is Modesto Villanueva. Modesto Villanueva is a violent sex offender, and that's why I'm subject to this criminal system, including in the bathroom inside of a hotel room that I paid money for. And I'm subject to it not only by the employees that are working at the venue, but also by the demons who Modesto and everyone else that works at Courtyard by Marriott are intentionally participating and facilitating, organizing my murder and kidnapping while they're group stalking, because that's what they're doing while group stalkers surround me and monitor me inside of this hotel room. Modesto Villanueva is a part of that criminal facilitation. That's the basis of federal prison, and direct engagement in the elements of monitoring while working at a facilitating venue such as the corrupt company Courtyard by Marriott, treated as a person under the law. And this person, Courtyard by Marriott, is a violent sex offender engaging in the perpetual sex offense of group stalking with the state, making their hotel room, not only my hotel room, but the hotel itself, the business establishment is a corrupt one where criminal activity, this is relevant to RICO charges, and the business establishment is a means whereby the federal group stalking and monitoring system is underway. This is P.O.C. headquarters, while the fake sun, the fake moon at night, the engineered light, my perpendicular shadows in the parking lot at nightfall has nothing to do with light activity that's naturally occurring from the street lamps and from the parking lot lamps. That's the facilitating venue where the organizers, the employees of Courtyard by Marriott, they're going to federal prison for this. So while you heard audible activity, I just want to be clear, not only is it audible activity, you're going to be prosecuted, period. Let me be clear and point out the fact that that audible activity sounding through the ceiling is occurring with simultaneity to what I'm typing on my phone as I put my phone down and stop and cease from documenting the second by second documentation that I am maintaining. Again, it's Monday, November 11, 2024, and I am being kept awake. I am being terrorized and harassed as an entity is stalking me inside of a hotel room. And how are you stalking someone in a hotel room? Every move that you're making, everything that you're doing on a communication device, everything with regard to your minor, even most minute gestures, including when you are physically indisposed, when you're in the shower, when you're necessarily touching your own body, which you have to do in order to wash it, when you are relieving yourself on a toilet and you spread your legs apart and you have to necessarily touch your genitalia, or what I'm speaking with regard, well, males sit on the toilet too, whatever. I'm understanding this is not a joking matter, but just I'm describing it in such terms because you need to understand the details that demons are stalking. They're stalking me with every move I make. That's why a demon was planted above my head. In room 401, they're going to federal prison. And so are the employees. Again, Modesto Villanueva, Christina Marino, this is a violent sex offender. She's a domestic terrorist, and she's going to federal prison for organizing this criminal system via the corrupt business establishment Courtyard by Marriott. And the specific environment is establishing that as a matter of science and as a matter of federal law to prosecute this venue. Paige Allen, also of another sex offender group stalking with the people of the state, whom they are organizing this criminal system. They are organizing the murder and kidnapping of an American citizen because that's why the state is keeping you under surveillance in violation of your constitutional and human rights. And by the way, I've been documenting it for a prolonged period. As of 8 p.m. when I woke up, like clockwork, the entity continuously maintaining, and you'll see my documentation. I'm documenting 12:02 a.m. The same demon in 410 is engaging in single stomping. This is boom, boom, as opposed to the pacing, walking, and these are small hotel rooms. So there's not a lot of space. So you're talking about what is, as you're envisioning that in your mind's eye, somebody that's walking back and forth, and they're doing so also with the criminal purpose to harass and terrorize and psychologically torture another person whom they also know is in the bathroom when she's in the bathroom, and stalking standing right above me, because you need to see this in your mind's eye, because that's what this sex offender, this demon is doing, speaking to the public safety concern. This is why California is going to be prosecuted in the ways in which it's going to be prosecuted. The same sex offender in room 410 stands directly above me, which is evidenced through the maintenance of noise above my head that occurs at the same time that I engage in the most minute movement, which is shaking my head to the side as I'm manipulating my hair. This is movement that's being monitored. Remember, the demon possessed are monitoring you. These are people that have demons on them, and they're engaged in criminal activity. It's surveillance because the government is surveilling me. That's also evidenced through the stalking by the police, the fire departments, and the ambulances, who are criminally misusing emergency vehicles to practice demonic activity. The elements of monitoring is what they're doing using those emergency vehicles in the specific environment that is currently remaining at Courtyard by Marriott, where they also are engaging in the pattern, as I've shown. The entity is obsessively stalking me in helicopters, showing the very obsessive nature of these demons who are gang stalking me in a hotel room. Everybody in this building, I documented many license plates last night. They can go as far as wherever they want. They can check in, they can check out, they can stay. It's relevant with regard to how long they're going to federal prison. And this is a prolonged enhanced term with regard to the moment by moment ongoing continuous engagement of terrorizing an American citizen. And the only reason why it's not continuing now is because my voice is audible activity. All right. And all of the psychopaths, all of these sex offenders are corporately listening to me expose them while they continuously engage in it. Every single last employee is going to federal prison. They're group stalking with the population outside of this hotel. Understand that. Sitting in the vacant parking lot of Burger King that's closed, stalking with the method of light activity. That's what I documented last night. That's what a population is doing obsessively. Across the street at the Starbucks, it's not a matter of what time those venues close. The people of the state, the population, are maintaining the elements of monitoring on a 24-hour basis. And all of the venues that are in relevant position, extending beyond that, those which I captured in screenshots showing you the addresses, they're going to be prosecuted along with Courtyard by Marriott. But the employees at Courtyard, they're going to federal prison. All right. But the commercial actors, they're all engaged in federal stalking, and they're all sharing in the elements of monitoring. This is a demon possessed population that's just merely employed and gang stalking by virtue of being consumers at all of these facilitating venues. And you know that because the fake sun is remaining over me at Courtyard by Marriott while they're in relevant position. In other words, they're around the zone of where I'm located, surrounding me, while that fake sun remains over me, which is over this hotel over me. The population is intentionally and knowingly engaging in that statewide system. That's exactly what's surrounding. And you also know that it's intentionally occurring with the knowledge of the demon possessed, who are the people of the state and the state, because there's an outright departure from any natural environment that would ever have the sun over Woodside Senior Apartments at 7:49 in the morning or at 10 o'clock, as I captured in 10:26 in the morning. There's no sun that's also over Woodside Senior Apartments at any vantage point under any circumstances, creating any sunlight inside of my hotel room and also filling Tracy Banks's apartment, creating any sunlight on the property of Woodside Senior Apartments, being at any vantage point where I could capture it directly over my head at that property, of which you also know is not the sun. And you also know that that's not sunlight that I'm capturing inside of Tracy's apartment and covering the property. This is a whole circus environment where sex offenders who are obsessed with what's between my legs are stalking me in the bathroom. And that's exactly what Modesta Villanueva is obsessed with, and she's going to federal prison for it. Christina Moreno, Valerie Jordan, and Paige Allen. They are organizing this sex offense that the state is practicing as a means of trying to murder and kidnap an American citizen, doing so through demonic means such as a demon-possessed person knowing exactly where you're located in your hotel, which is a private space, and stalking you as you engage in any movement by merely maintaining audible activity, which again, the ordinary weight and posture of such venues, these walls are not paper thin at all. As I knock on them, it sounds like literally like you're tapping because they're solid. You can't hear this loud booming. It's demonic, in other words. It's not even a natural audible activity creation. These demons are stalking above, and it's the supernatural while it's heard inside of my hotel room. And you also know this how? Not only by the evidence of the fake sun documentation, this is evidence speaking to what is employed in gang stalking somebody, which is intended to psychologically torture someone. They are inherently engaged in the supernatural, that which you're never supposed to be aware of. Hence the documentation showing you the fake sun. So you're not surprised surprised the fact that supernatural things are occurring in order to psychologically torture someone, and you're going to federal prison for that. Courtyard by Marriott is engaged in facilitating the murder and kidnapping of an American citizen by placing demons in all of the surrounding hotel rooms around me, and they do so intentionally and knowingly. That's why the fake sun and engineered light and ongoing stalking by amplified noise inside of this hotel room is occurring. And yes, what I'm documenting is putting every single last one of those employees in federal prison. You don't have any constitutionally protected rights at all, and neither do the demons who are providing admissions to their criminal engagement in the P.O.C. by paying for a hotel room. It is currently 2:15 a.m. The maintenance of audible activity inside of this bathroom is a sex offense. And the entity engaged in that method of audible activity was simultaneous to my literally walking inside of it. You'll see the images that I captured. I'm pointing at the ceiling, the locations where the noise is occurring. And it's a supernatural occurrence, the fact that it's occurring in the first place. It is also on its face, removing the demonic methods of terrorizing and gang stalking someone with the intent to murder and kidnap them. That is falsely depict that person as suffering from some mental illness. That's why you employ the demonic, the supernatural, in other words, in order to harass and stalk that person, because the third party that wants to maintain a position, which it doesn't, they're all going to federal prison. But the malice of the system is that perfect strangers are paying for hotel rooms around you. They don't know you. They don't know your name. Didn't come from the same place. Never seen them before. And that they are totally innocent and ignorant about what's going on around that person who's clearly suffering from something mental. Okay, while they are complaining about things no one knows anything about. This is why you document the specific environment. This is why you document the pattern of conduct by the state. And this is why you show the demonic features of the system. It's showing malice. And everyone maliciously engaging in it while having the audacity to profit, while you're organizing state surveillance, which is intended to murder and kidnap someone, Courtyard by Marriott. This is the prosecution and federal prison minimum with regard to prosecution, this intolerable level of facilitation. And that's the prize that the demons gain while they follow me around with impunity, because they are actively and enthusiastically continuously engaging in it while they are monitoring exactly what I'm putting literally after every sentence. The employees are going to federal prison. The third parties that are gang stalking at Courtyard by Marriott, they're going to federal prison, and the entity continuously. That's called impunity and malice. And they are going to federal prison for it. And the level of malice that's employed in trying to murder and kidnap someone is exactly why nothing less than federal prison for this level of intolerable facilitation, organizing group stalking by the state, by your business establishment, you're going to federal prison for that. And so this is documentation of ongoing terrorism, harassment as an entity, doing so with the criminal intent to obstruct justice. That's what's relevant, and doing so with federal stalking, meaning they're aware of the documentation, and the state is, California is currently disregarding the federal prosecution, the federal laws that's going to be enforced against it and every sex offender in this state. But the rest of the nation and the world will also recognize the importance of never disregarding an American citizen's right to not be subject to terrorism. This is one of the most serious doctrines that is the most un-American criminal conduct that you can engage in. And there's zero tolerance for those that are from far off. There is equally zero tolerance for homegrown terrorism. Okay, those that want to claim to be American citizens and they're engaging in what is group stalking, this is domestic terrorism, and it will be severely punished under federal law. And the state is simultaneously being documented. And so while I'm also on here, let's just take a moment to recall who are the government actors that are being documented and exposed while I am subject to this pattern of conduct in Hesperia, California. This is the city of Hesperia, and so you're talking about the government body that's engaged in group stalking with the population in Hesperia. They're not ignorant about the maintenance of the malicious engagement of what is a whole circus environment, a whole fake sun is over me. Yes, the city of Hesperia, the corrupt body, the corrupt city council, they're all engaged in group stalking, and that's why I am subject to it in the city of Hesperia. And that's exactly the logic that's employed when an American citizen is exposing what they're subject to in any city and state in this country. It is pointing directly to the government actors who are posing a threat to the public and will be plucked out of the positions that they unjustly hold. It's a danger to society, while demons and closeted sex offenders and psychopaths trying to murder and kidnap American citizens with the population whom they're holding some government position and leadership over. While they're in that position, it's not going to be tolerated. The council members, looks like Rebecca Swanson. This is Mayor Pro Tem Allison of District 1. Allison Lee, this is a council member. She's being exposed as a corrupt government leader while I'm documenting federal group stalking and monitoring, a massive sex offense, corporate sexual perversion, okay, corporate terrorism in the city of Hesperia. And those that are in leadership positions in the city of Hesperia are not ignorant about it, actually, nor can you reasonably contend ignorance about it with regard to the pattern of conduct and the evidence, which is requiring the government to engage in this system. They're not group stalking with the purpose of kidnapping and murdering an American citizen in Hesperia because the police aren't engaged in it. And goodness gracious, I literally documented the state stalking through the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department. That's the policing agency in Hesperia and in Victorville, where I was subject to terrorism by helicopter. Okay, these are sister cities. Okay, streets separating Hesperia from Victorville. Okay, they're gang stalking me, group stalking me, terrorizing me, chasing me down in helicopters in Victorville. That's exactly what is. I documented group stalking by helicopter at the Walmart. Do not forget the documentation under the fake sun. Okay, this is exactly what the corrupt city council, Cameron Gregg of District 3, is aware of and is engaged in as a demon. Remember, they're not only sitting on a corrupt government body, but they're a part of this same population. They are group stalkers, and they are simultaneously being exposed for being the type that will terrorize an American citizen, stalking them in a bathroom, obsessively consumed with their genitalia, and they also support and facilitate it in this city. All right, that's why it's happening to me in this city. Bridget Bennington, a council member, and Larry Bird, the so-called mayor. Okay, Larry Bird is being exposed as a domestic terrorist, facilitating domestic terrorism in this city. You are not a legitimate mayor, sir. You are not legitimate council members, sirs and ma'ams. Okay, you're engaged in this criminal system while I'm documenting massive and egregious criminal conduct that's facilitated through the corrupt businesses in this city. This isn't an accident or a coincidence. Courtyard by Marriott is corrupt in Nevada. Courtyard by Marriott is corrupt in LA County and Monrovia, where I documented the evidence that is speaking to nothing other than a statewide P.O.C. So I want to make clear, I have thoroughly exposed what Jeremy Dean over the captain over the San Bernardino County Policing Department, the San Bernardino County Fire Department, CAL FIRE, that's group stalking in Hesperia, when I was at Holiday Inn, by the way, which is at the opposite end of the freeway. If you look at the Google, I took screenshots so you could see where I'm at, big picture regarding everybody who's being prosecuted together in the zone of relevant positioning, while a sex offender is stalking me as I go from location to location, make any minute gesture of movement, and document all my communication devices and on the internet. And it's not just the sex offender in room 410 directly above me. It's the sex offender in room 308 adjacent to me, in room 312 adjacent to me, in rooms 309, 311, 313, all of the rooms on 301 to 345, all of the rooms on the second floor, all of the rooms on the fourth floor. This is a hotel full of terrorists. And they equally share in this voice of foolish defiance. You're not defying the federal government. You're not keeping yourself out of federal prison. You're telling on the sex offender who's sitting as a corrupt mayor, Larry Bird. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. They're all going to federal prison, okay? And so are the demons that are calling themselves employees while I'm up at 2 o'clock in the morning, not capable of relieving myself in the bathroom, which is a matter of public information amongst the demons that are calling themselves council members and the mayor of the city of Hesperia. It's public information. They're all engaged in federal stalking and independent basis of federal prison, by the way. And they're all engaged in what is state surveillance. That's why you have a bunch of demons paying, literally, to have a hotel room to group stalk me. That's how important I am. And that's not a compliment. The demon possessed are violent sex offenders. They are absolute psychopaths. And this exposure of mental illness is that which will be studied and explored with regard to how the public can be protected. And it's going to start with this prosecution putting a lot of people in federal prison. Okay. And that's just as a matter of justice. If I go to a hotel and I can't stay in a hotel room without being subject to my genitalia being a matter of public information, that's a sex offense of a federal nature at a level that has never been legislated before. It's a massive public sex offense. Okay. And the entity is doing so with impunity. And so while Modesta Villanueva acts with impunity, while she is organizing with the demons of the employee of Courtyard by Marriott, placing third parties all around to engage and practice that sex offense, they're going to federal prison. And this is the mental illness that is exposing what is, again, the mischaracterization of mental illness, which is intentionally ongoing in this country. It's propaganda. The government is corrupt with regard to what California is engaging in. The states that are practicing state surveillance, group stalking, are abusing the positions that they hold in doing so. It is propaganda while that corrupt government is mischaracterizing and abusing the positions to diagnose and define mental illness when you have spiritual gifts, the ability to speak to what is demonic. And by the way, it's not just spiritual gifts, it's combining that with a legal skill set. And I have provided tangible evidence that anyone, no matter what religion you claim, while there is only one true and living God, by the way, regardless of what you believe, is my point, where we can all agree on and reason together regarding what is a scientific impossibility. There is no spiritual pontification there. Okay, so this is what the entity seeks to do, criminally defame one that is spiritually gifted in order to call out demons. That's what Satan is fearful of, and that's why he's using and has a chokehold on the state of California and corrupt government bodies such as what I'm exposing in Hesperia, where sexual violence is underway, and the corrupt city council members, those are sex offenders and demons in the city of Hesperia, fully engaged in it. They're the same population. They esteem themselves as being some sort of local government body, and you are not. You're not. Do not be deceived. Just because demons put on the costumes, it's Halloween every day in California. They are masquerading as normal people, sane people, healthy people, law-abiding people, and professionals, and they are not. And I can conclusively and accurately state that I said exactly what I said. They are not. The police departments, the sheriff's departments, the local government, every level of government is engaged in this corrupt system. And you need to know the demented mind state. They practice sexual violence as a way of life. This is what Satan encourages with regard to their ritualistic practices. They are so demented and deceived that your genitalia, your sexual nature, your sexuality, your private parts is something where they think they're sucking like vampires some sort of spiritual vitality out of you. It is literally making a population of sex offenders, because this is what they practice as engaging in witchcraft, as they're engaging in what is watching you obsessively when they're placing cameras around you, where they're stalking you in bathrooms. They like to wait until your legs are open and you're touching your genitalia to engage in their ritualistic pattern of stalking with noise in the engineered light. It's focused on, and a core aspect is your genitalia. That's a sex offender by definition. The population in California is mentally ill with regard to federal group stalking and monitoring, and that mental illness is not a secret, and it's also conclusively supported with evidence showing the criminal system and what is necessarily a very crucial and severe mental issue to even be engaged in this system. And you're engaged in it when it's occurring in your city, in case you didn't know that. You're engaged in it while it's occurring in the state. Okay, I just want to make sure that I'm pointing out it's 2:27 a.m. And like I stated, Abby and Laura, these demons that are speaking of, oh, I'm going to go ahead and send security up about what is amplified audible activity. But again, this is disingenuous audible activity creation. They're both going to federal prison anyway. The pattern of conduct is going to continue. The entity is engaged in stalking and keeping under surveillance a woman at all moments in time in a hotel room. That's exactly what an individual stalker who would be appropriately labeled as a sex offender would be convicted of. The entire state of California is engaged in that. And that's what the demons that live in Hesperia that are also sitting on the Hesperia City Council. So that's why I'm reading you their names. That's what the demons calling themselves a police department. Don't forget what Jeremy Dean is, sitting over a corrupt police department, because they're monitoring, sitting around in their police vehicles in relevant position while a sex offender plants themselves above me and all the surrounding hotel rooms around me, working at the venue, group stalking with all the demons that they are organizing in position around me. Oh, they're gang stalking together and they're going to federal prison together. Not necessarily being cell buddies, but they're all going to be sentenced to the same exact consequence, and it's federal prison. This is intolerable facilitation. And as I remain subject to it, which is, again, it's ongoing. My voice right now is the audible activity. When I am not recording, I'm documenting on my phone, which you'll see the long drawn out text, and I am texting a lot. And so let me be clear, syntax is vital to me. I value proper grammar and spelling. But I just want to go ahead and make a disclaimer right now. I'm typing so much so fast and I'm covering a lot. There will be a lot of typos and I don't even have time to go back and correct that. And so a lot of these PDFs, that's why but just as a professional, and I do value that, I'm going to go ahead and make that disclaimer in this documentation. But that's how much evidence I'm subject to, how much terrorism, moment by moment, second by second, everything that I'm typing, even the demons react to it. And that's literally, it's a criminal act to engage in understand how the population is stalking you. This is addressing and appreciating the threat to your life. Engaging in jump rope under the fake sun and engineer light, you're stalking somebody. The government is sitting around watching you using their devices, misusing the resources that they have to make notes about what you're doing as you're doing it. And they're doing it with the population that's consumed with you. They're not consumed with jumping rope. They're not trying to fix their car with their hazard lights on the side of the road. They're obsessively stalking you. And it is movement in that engineer light. That's how minute. And yet at the same time, how majorly severe and high federal the offense is. It is no small thing with regard to what I'm documenting moment by moment. And these demons fail to appreciate it. And I want to document that as well. They're all going to federal prison. And any American citizen that's enforcing their rights, you are not going to be denied justice because you have 301 to 345. So that's the second floor, the third floor, and the fourth floor. So you have over 100 defendants. And that's, again, that every single hotel room is full. But my point of what am I getting at? Quantity. Quantity is not going to be a bar to justice. And it shall never be a bar to justice where the entity sought to. That's the reason why they're gang stalking you. And there's more demons than there are those who are not, by the way. This is speaking to the times that we're in. You have what is by the intentional structure of the system, a bullying system. I don't care if there's 250 bullies surround. If the facts and circumstances require federal prison under the rules that will be enforced, I'm saying exactly what I mean. 250 of those bullies are going to federal prison. I don't care what your position is. Nobody cares about what you've stated you're not going to do anymore. None of these demons are going to admit to it anyway. These are psychopaths that are going to mental facilities and federal prisons because the demons are going to go kicking and screaming while they, on the moment by moment basis, continuously engaged in like there's some sort of defiance. You ain't standing up for nothing. You're going to federal prison, period. The employees that are group stalking with you put you in that hotel room to keep me under surveillance and to terrorize me with the government that wants to murder and kidnap, which is why you're group stalking in the first place. Never fail to appreciate the importance of being terrorized inside of where I'm at, a hotel room, or where I was before, an apartment. And where I was before, my own private space, my apartment in Los Angeles. Where I'm driving on the roads and the highways and they're group stalking me. That's a threat to my life. Driving a dangerous vehicle and they're stalking me on the roads and the highways. They're stalking me in helicopters like they're going to pull out one of their automatic weapons and start shooting at me, dropping bombs on me, following me from place to place in helicopters. No, it's not going to be tolerated in the United States. And it will be treated as severely as any other type of terrorism that's coming from afar. The only difference with regard to domestic terrorism by so-called American citizens underway by the so-called American government is that these demons want to appear as though they are civilized, while simultaneously maliciously appearing as ordinary everyday life. There's nothing ordinary and everyday with regard to the specific environment and the demonic features, employing the supernatural, which is showing severe mental illness that everybody needs to be aware of. Okay. 2:33 a.m. I'm listening to what is a third party that's just walking back and forth above the top of my head. And this is not what you're, by the way, common sense. This is also not how you're maintaining a business. Every move that I'm making as I'm walking around is not disrupting you inside of your hotel room. You're not engaging in what is every time you're closing your hotel room beside me or underneath me on the second floor or above. It's not creating an earthquake inside of this is all ongoing amplification. That's, again, Modesto Villanueva. She's going to federal prison while her impunity is demonstrated, while she is corporately gang stalking me where she works with the demons that all of the employees are strategically placing in relevant position. That intent is shown and evidenced through the specific environment. All of that population, all that obsession, all that group stalking is now concentrated at a hotel. And it's very easy to define who's going where. All of them are going to federal prison. All right. And it's not just the demon in 410. They are stalking the demons. I documented in writing as I speak to the pattern of conduct as the entities engage in what is the communication of a threat to your safety, your life, your mental well-being, while they're gang stalking you through demonic means of sounds booming through the walls. There's not even anything that the human beings that have demons on them nonetheless, but the human beings hitting the walls, it doesn't create a boom. It's not loud enough to do so. And that's not the structure of the building. This is demonic. Okay. And I've already established my credibility. The fact that the state of California is stalking me and the state of Nevada under the fake sun, an outright departure that it would be over Courtyard by Marriott and Hesperia when it's at the same time, daylight savings time or not. And by the way, daylight savings doesn't apply when it's a fake sun and a whole cartoon environment. I have abided by those rules that we all recognize in order to show you the fact that this is not a natural environment. So now that we could step outside of that illusion, daylight savings time or not, which doesn't apply in the specific environment, there is no sun in Las Vegas, Nevada over me at the Courtyard by Marriott, Alpha Dean Martin, while I'm showing it outside of my hotel room window in Hesperia. And while it's outside of my hotel room in Hesperia, which is on the opposite side of the same freeway where the Holiday Inn off of Key Point Road is, there's no sun over that Holiday Inn. It is entirely exclusive. It's mutually exclusive. Speaking to the criminal conduct that all those demons who are still subject to federal prison, because this is what they were doing at the Holiday Inn on the opposite side of this freeway where the sun cannot be seen over or through the Holiday Inn window through that hallway. It can't be seen outside of my hotel room over the Motel 6 setting in the evening, rising in alignment to the entrance of the Holiday Inn in the morning, aiming any sunlight. It's all mutually exclusive. It is with regard to the same intentional engagement and what is inherently terrorizing activity. Your every move, your enforcement of rights by documenting it, the sexual violence you're subject to while a whole demon is standing above you, which you are aware of because they're stalking you with noise. That's entirely sick. Those are the ones that are seeking to falsely depict you as mentally ill. And that is entirely unpersuasive. It doesn't even make any sense. It defies logic, and everyone can clearly see that. The whole illusion that this witch coven sought to present by group stalking an American citizen, which is, again, I'm advocating on behalf of the ordinary target individual. That's exactly why federal prison on upon many iterations of the P.O.C. is required. But with regard to the population at large, everybody here is going to federal prison, but the population at large, when I'm on the roads and the highways, absent, when the entity is group stalking, you're looking at the police stalking you, you document as many license plates as possible because everybody that you get is going to federal prison. Okay. And even if you can't, I, as a federal, in prosecuting and understanding the system, say the target individual doesn't document license plates. You're on the freeway and you're where your location is. It's very easy. Federal prison, in other words, my point is federal prison must be the result. Because it's not tolerated. You are going to snatch as many people into the pool of defendants as possible. It could be by location. It could be by your own unilateral documentation. But somebody's going to federal prison for it, in addition to those demons that are calling themselves police officers. It's not going to be tolerated. So while I'm in Hesperia, I have added to the pool of defendants. I went outside in the parking lot and I documented all those license plates, which, again, the ordinary target individual doesn't have to do that. I am exposing on top of prosecuting. I am giving many ideas with regard to how you can attack this problem. And it's not just a criminal act. It's something that is an infection to American society. Because this is what the states are doing, and it's an infection to American society. You have the neighborhoods, you have the people of the state themselves that are engaging in this criminal conduct. It's an infection to American society. You have corruption that's on the streets, lawlessness that's on the streets. All right, so I'm providing creative ways and measures to solve the problem. And at a government level, yeah, the demons are going to be removed from their positions, okay? Larry Bird, this is not a legitimate marriage. This is a closeted sex offender. He's group stalking with this demon that's following me, or all of these demons that are following me around, but the entities relying chiefly on the one in 410, directly above me. You need to understand what Larry Bird represents and what he's a mayor over. He's not a legitimate mayor either. All right. It poisons the position that this government actor, while group stalking on the job, and third party, while not in the official role, acting in the official role of group stalking. For example, when the demon's at the grocery store, Larry Bird is group stalking like the rest of these demons. But when he's group stalking at the office, where the city hall is, which, by the way, the fake sun right over my head. If I go to the HESPERIA City Hall, you know exactly what it is that I'm exposing. Larry Bird is a demon-possessed, closeted sex offender who's gang stalking in Hesperia with the rest of these demons who are added to the pool of defendants. And I said exactly what I said because that's exactly what it is. And the evidence supports it. It proves it. All right. I want to be clear. It's 2:39 a.m. And the employees are being documented, and they're all going to federal prison for the ongoing terrorism and harassment as an entity that I'm documenting, while the entity that is intentionally staying at a hotel for the criminal. This is speaking to an unfathomable level of obsession by a population. That same obsessed population wants to engage in murdering that person that they're gang stalking. They want to engage in accomplishing a seamless kidnapping of that person. That's why they're targeting that person. That sort of ongoing ambush, barbaric behavior is what is requiring federal prison. That is necessary. This is outright animalistic behavior and they have kids and they would like to be esteemed as being mayors and council members. And no, you're going to call Satan out for exactly they're a bunch of demons and sex offenders and stalkers. And it's based on what they're doing. I don't have to engage in name calling. You're the one that's doing it. And so you're going to be prosecuted. You're going to be exposed. You're going to be referenced based on what you do. Okay. And this is an entity that's acting. It's not an individual. This is gang conduct. And so the gang is going to be identified, exposed, and prosecuted like the gang that they are. They're called criminal co-conspirators under the law. All right. It's currently 2:40 a.m. Monday, November 11, 2024, subject to an ongoing sex offense while demons are obsessively monitoring my genitalia, while I'm walking in and out of the bathroom, stalking with the means of facilitation by the venue itself. MARRIOTT Bonvoy is providing its building, extending the building itself as a means of amplified audible activity. You are not naturally hearing that, and it's criminal, period. You've got the fake sun over you. The entity is going to learn. You got some hard decisions to make then if you don't want to be losing literally everything, because the prosecution of the state is designed to devastate you. It's designed to remove you. If you can be removed, you're going to be removed. If you can go to federal prison, that's exactly where you're going under the facts and circumstances. If you can be plucked out of a position that you are unfit and disqualified to hold, that's exactly what's going to happen. As ruthless as this entity is seeking to murder and kidnap American citizens, that federal prosecution will be with regard to commensurate with regard to the ruthlessness with which you are plucking out the means of facilitating and maintaining and sheltering public corruption, criminal activity, corporate violence, just violence amongst the public. That's what group stalking is. All right, it's rooting it out, and the ruthless endeavor to do so. It's commensurate with regard to the ruthless endeavor to try to murder and kidnap someone. It's not going to be tolerated. Not going to be tolerated at all. And while the entity, you're dealing with the mentally ill, that's why they continuously are going, again, pedal to the metal. They're 350 miles per hour, pedal to the metal, right off of the cliff, right off the precipice to their own demise. The entity can continuously defy what is an inevitable conclusion. You are going to federal prison, just like would be the case were I in federal court representing my client, the ordinary target individual, zealously advocating on behalf of their right, constitutional and human, to not be subject to animals chasing them day and night, obsessively consumed with their genitalia, which should not be a matter of public information, whatever that ordinary target individual is doing with their genitalia. And it requires federal prison because it's the government that's doing it. The government hides behind the people. And you are looking at what is indiscriminate. They're all under the fake sun together. They're all amongst the impossible light together. They're all pacing around like a bunch of dummies in that engineered environment while helicopters are flying in circles. It's all manner of what is a third world country. This is America. But this is the depths of depravity that it's been sunken down to. Okay, amplified audible activity at 2:43 a.m. This is documentation of ongoing impunity. All right, and this is what they're doing on an ongoing basis while I'm subject to an unlawful threat under federal law, threatening the life as an entity, an American citizen. You're going to federal prison for that. And so this is what entity is doing minute by minute, second by second, hour by hour. You're going to federal prison. So I just want to point that out. And this is for the podcast. You are also looking at all the documentation is supplemental. The big picture is what understood when you're looking at all the pictures and the videos. You're looking at all of the documents showing the documents entitled Courtyard Dash the People with regard to all the pattern of conduct that I documented and all the ways in which I do. With regard to when you're prosecuting venue by venue, it's a prosecution of the state, but everybody's getting theirs. Okay, everybody's getting theirs with regard to I went to Courtyard. This is what they did at Courtyard, and they're not acting by themselves. Everybody in relevant position. The venue that's in relevant position is Burger King, Starbucks, the Mobile gas station, the Shell gas station, Cane's Chicken Fingers, Wendy's, IHOP. They're all making money while state surveillance is underway in America because they're all group stalking. These same demons that are checking out hotel rooms, they're across the street in relevant position at the Starbucks, group stalking with the demons that are going dizzy, pacing back and forth all around me, stalking, slamming, stomping, monitoring. And so are they across the street in relevant position. And those corporate actors are going to be prosecuted for state surveillance as the federal government is recognizing how the statewide system operates and profiting while engaging in what is the ongoing purpose of seeking to murder and kidnap someone. That's why you are, as an entity, gang stalking them. And you also know that because I get in my vehicle and the fake sun remains directly over me as I go across the street where they are in relevant position, group stalking me while I remain inside of the hotel. You're going to be prosecuted. So you are sharing in the sexual violence. You are sharing in the federal stalking. You are sharing in the criminal obstruction of justice. You are sharing in the unlawful communication to the federal government as though you're defying the enforcement of federal law. These delusional demons are going to sit in federal prison. All right. It's currently 2:45 a.m. on Monday, November 11, 2024. And this is P.O.C. It is currently 3:21 a.m. This is documentation that I am unilaterally maintaining with regard to exposing the state of California that is subject to a federal prosecution, an historic one, because gang stalking, group stalking has never been prosecuted before. It's never even been proven. It has been intentionally maintained as a conspiracy theory by those that are typically mischaracterized, criminally defamed as suffering from some mental incapacity. And so this is documentation that not only serves the purpose of documentation for purposes of prosecution, but documentation regarding my own agenda of exposing a population of sex offenders and stalkers. License 1368382. They're stalking in the path. They're driving by while I'm in operation of my phone in the parking lot. And this is the ongoing maintenance of activity while demons such as the sex offenders around me, 308, 312, 311, 313, and 410 directly above, 210 directly below, maintaining an ongoing course of amplification while demons, sex offenders, such as license 1368382, maintain elements of monitoring outside of the hotel, okay? Where, again, you are aware of the fact that a population is intentionally doing so because a fake sun remains over the hotel. All right, this is speaking to the crime scene regarding massive facilitation, and this is a population of sex offenders who are acting with the intent to keep a woman under surveillance in a hotel. A lot of private things are happening in a hotel, okay? While you are not interested, because I'm not, and even if I did post, by the way, even if I were interested in exercising freedom of speech and putting my nude body on the internet, I would never do that. But even if I did, the state doesn't have the right to do so unbeknownst to you without your consent and knowledge and information. I didn't sign any waiver. I didn't say, oh, fine. Oh, that's sure. We can do a documentary. You can keep me on video. You can watch me. You can monitor the moments when I'm in the bathroom. You can engage in some sort of experiment of keeping noise every time I spread my legs. Yeah, you could do. None of that happened. Okay. And that's sexually perverted. It's predatory by the mindset. The sexual aspect regarding the location where you're at, the activity that you're engaged in, your physical state while you're being monitored, and the entity's knowledge of that. And their ongoing objective, which is to pace around you and keep engineer light and all kind of creepy light, stalking, following, touching you everywhere, while a bunch of psychopaths are pacing all around, inside and all around the hotel. That's a sex offense, and it's a public sex offense. All right, I have referred to it as a perpetual sex offense. This is documentation of the people of the state The ones that are monitoring, they're engaged in terrorism as an entity, and I'm documenting many of them by license plate. This is not the only means whereby the entity shall be subject to federal prison. The people that said are going to be prosecuted for domestic terrorism, which is creating what is a criminal record for terrorism that will have reverberating and permanent effects on the lives of those that are either going to be deported, but if they're not deported, meaning they're natural-born citizens, because no one that's not a natural-born citizen is remaining in this country. But those that are homegrown terrorists will be treated like the sex offenders that are currently published for the safety, the well-being, the knowledge. You have a right, a constitutional right, to know about those that pose a threat to you, and that's what group stalking and group stalkers pose. All right, license 9CNC288, CGU8120, 8ZGP312, 15316Y3. This is an Illinois plate, small letters FP on the side of it, and then 247610. License SSP 7096, Texas, 278 U.S.S. I documented that demon yesterday. They're still here. Remember the term that they're present, that's ongoing, repeated. Remember the basis of federal prison. First of all, being in a hotel, intolerable facilitation by virtue of the employees. In the same way where you're living at a facilitating venue, you're going to federal prison. Where you're working at a facilitating venue, you're going to federal prison. Where you're engaging in gang stalking with the police directly, you're going to federal prison. Okay, they literally bear weapons and exercise authority under the Constitution that they don't have in order to kidnap you with these demon-possessed sex offending group stalkers. That level of malice, you are going to federal prison, period. All right. The entity is engaging in this pattern of conduct with the people of the state who are paying to stay for multiple nights at the hotel. This level of gang stalking, all of the demons inside of the hotel are corporately maintaining surveillance on a 24-hour basis. This is an intolerable level of facilitation, not merely analyzed based on how many days and nights you stayed. So I just want to make sure I point that out. 9KVG526, 8BZC090, 2YZ2175, CWX2186, that's Arizona. And SYZ2175 is Texas. Also, the Spring Hills Suites by Marriott is also an adjacent and a criminal actor. They're group stalking, and all of its patrons are group stalking. All the employees inside of that venue is group stalking. But I want to be clear. Every single license plate that I'm documenting is not distinct with regard to engaging in the pattern of conduct. All of the patrons staying in the venue of a courtyard are subject to federal prison. All right. Everybody being documented is going to be prosecuted for domestic terrorism and federal stalking. Okay. Now, remember, these are the rules that I'm laying out. This is not limiting any liberty that the federal government wants to. I mean, they have a whole other. I'm blowing the whistle. Okay. This is not because I'm stating it. You're going to suffer the consequences of the rules that I'm laying out. But this is not limiting. You may very well find yourself in federal prison when all you did was group stalk crossing path on the 210 freeway. So do not get excited and think that I can just group stalk in this way. I can cross path and I can go serve Satan and get my lick in and I don't have to. Don't assume that. I just want to put that out there. License CWX2186 Arizona, 9LHY302, 9JRF819. There will be many routes to that consequence for gang stalking. 9LCR948. Let me go get these demons that are stalking in the path with light activity. The first license plate that I read, they're engaged in surveillance. That's a basis of federal prison. That's ongoing facilitation. That's an entity that's just standing in your face, threatening you. Like, I don't care that you're documenting. I don't care that you're enforcing your rights. Nobody, which is what the government is doing on an ongoing basis. Doing so, maintaining light activity is the same threat. License, stalking in the path with light, loading into the vehicle. License 8PZF625, going in reverse as I drive up. This African-American female, very tacky with her weaves while she's holding them in her bag. She's pacing away from the car, then she walks back toward the car because she's monitoring. And this is a demon. She's monitoring with the demons who choose to reverse out of the parking lot at the moment that I approach them. That's the method of stalking with light. Okay, I'm going to resume the documentation because I just want to get those demons before they try to run off. License plate 9LCR948, 9NJJ613, 9KHA646, 9LJY627, 8ZYH410, 9NGA013. And everybody that I'm documenting is a part of the ongoing criminal conduct by determined terrorists who will not move from maintaining light in the path. That's the determination that the federal government is going. You're going to break that in half. That willfulness, federal prison, and all of the consequences inherent to federal group stalking and monitoring, you're breaking that willfulness. And other people who will learn what the demons in California refuse to accept, learning that you don't have a choice. You shall not engage in domestic terrorism in the States, period, and not suffer consequences. They're all engaging in that willfulness together. They are gang stalking, they're co-conspirators. You are sharing in that impunity. You are threatening all the same. Don't miss that, because that's what I'm documenting everybody engaging in. License plate 9NGA013 8YZN106 CWC0220 Arizona 9MW2208. Again, 9MWT208. Excuse me. Rhode Island F as in Frank, S as in Sam 775. Florida RHH E73. Arizona DFA 0XW. Missouri A097B1. And it says Missouri Bicentennial, and then the large characters are A097B1, and then there's small letters to the side, LR. Just want to document that. License 9EAX917, and that looks like the same vehicle with the federal plate. 9JGZ414, 9LTV696, 68273C3, BHY0155, and I believe that is... well, it's a black plate. I don't know if that's Nevada. I'm going to confirm right now. 3CYL4WD, 7XDU457. Can't tell if that's Nevada. Let me confirm. I can't see any front plate. I don't know if that's Nevada or not. It looks like a black plate. It could just be... the color of a decorative plate, or it could be Nevada, because Nevada, I'm assuming that because Nevada typically has the black plates. But this is on a Amazon type van, and by Amazon, what I mean, Amazon is, let me park right here. It's not Amazon Prime. I'm not identifying Amazon Prime. It's Tennessee, but it's a dark gray van. It's a Dodge Ram van. The license plate, which is Tennessee, BHY0155. I'm referencing Amazon because Amazon uses the same shape type. I guess they drive these Dodge Ram vans. Anyway, got the license plate. 1 second. Let me look at this. And by the way, it's currently 3:31 a.m. So the demons in 410, 308, 210, they're maintaining audible activity, terrorizing me as one. Every single last one of these third parties, the employees, okay? The managers, those are demons that are in a managerial position for a corrupt company who's going to be prosecuted. They are all threatening me, group stalking me, sexually violating me, engaging in monitoring and surveilling my communication devices and everything that I'm documenting that is monitoring the evidence that's going to be submitted to the federal government. Your unlawful intrusion and interference in an ongoing investigation, that's what that's tantamount to. That's what they're all doing when they're monitoring the evidence. And they do so willy-nilly. Like they don't care. They're going to federal prison. The federal court's going to be mindful of the fact that you do not care. License J0170VIM, that's a federal plate. License 5WXU698. License 9FJH770 GREEMO. Stalking in the back park of the parking lot. Yeah, way back here, sitting with their headlights on. Is that what I see? Okay, never mind. I take that back. I get excited when I catch somebody in the P.O.C. It's still light activity, but it's the building. It's not this vehicle. PSH 3279. That's Texas. LL721. That's handicap. That's a handicap plate. Another handicap, KT343. And this is indeed Idaho, 1MJ081U. Let's see, license. This is another Idaho plate. Yeah, 1M95473. Many of these I documented last night. 9ADL444. 9LCN512. These are behind Spring Suites. So these are license plates. And again, they're all group stalking together. I am at the parking lot that's officially behind the Spring Suites Hills Marriott, which again, I'm staying at Courtyard by Marriott. The distinction with regard to federal prison is, and it's superficial. Because if you really want, the argument exists, and literally it's what they're doing. You're talking about being in the building next to me versus being in alignment to me at the building adjacent to Courtyard. They could all go to federal prison. But like I said, that's a superficial distinction. Spring Hill Suites and all of the patrons and the employees are group stalking. What I have laid out is federal prison for paying and staying at the hotel of Courtyard around me to gang stalk me, to participate in the elements of monitoring inside of the venue, working at the venue, paying to be at the venue. Okay. Federal prison, as opposed to the same exact maintenance of the elements of monitoring, same exact federal stalking, group stalking by being at the adjacent building of Spring Hill Suites. But nonetheless, I'm documenting all the license plates. They're all engaged in group stalking. They will all be prosecuted. The punishment with regard to federal prison is reserved for those who are patrons and employees of Courtyard by Marriott in Hesperia. So I just want to be mindful of that. 9FXM 911. Excuse me. I want you to be mindful of that as I'm documenting them. 7AQA885 9LRR470. It's currently 3:35 a.m. And none of these demons are asleep, just like they're tap dancing, and it's amplified in sound. Walking around in your hotel room is not going to create the noise level. You're not going to hear it at all, okay? And you're not paying hundreds of dollars for these hotel rooms for people to walk around in and out, close their doors, and all manner of earthquake and loud noise is going to keep you up. And that's not why you would pay. It's entirely demonic, and it's also an obvious means of maintaining the elements of monitoring. 9MPB156, Nevada. No, excuse, that wasn't a Nevada plate. This next plate right now is Nevada, just to be clear. This is Nevada. VA, small letters, and then Z597. And this is a group stalker that's claiming to be a veteran. All right. That's P.O.C. There's no distinction with regard to documenting relevant positioning, light activity, and audible activity. They get inside of a police vehicle. Guess what? It's a demon in their group stalking. License 9KVG006. License LFS 7328. That's New York. 8GFJ011. 9JLJ405. 9MUZ395. 8BQM166. Let me make sure I'm still recording right now. Okay. 6KAH151. 5RPX005. 9GYA378. 8HJF278. This is Washington. CGM0923. 9PDS718. License plate 7666K3. Yeah, 76666K3. License plate, I read that one. This is license 7W12073, and this is Oklahoma, NHP 187. License 7CMF 619, 8MDV461, Nevada 592X48, and Wyoming 3, with an image of a cowboy on a horse, and then the rest of the figures are 26493. And it is 3:38 a.m. Documentation of what is the totality of an ongoing crime. The federal group stalking monitoring system never ceases to be underway. They're monitoring me now while I'm driving around. The entity maintains aerial surveillance. All angles of the crime remain underway. I've established this already. You are mindful of that on an ongoing basis while I'm documenting whoever it is that I can document, because that's what I do. I go around and I get as many defendants to put into the pool of defendants as I possibly can. That's what this is about. All right. It is currently 3:38 a.m. and this is P.O.C. All right. It is currently 1:02 p.m. You will see the fake sun as I am The fake sun is the identification of a malicious statewide system of monitoring, and it's demonic. All right, and the people of the state are subject to federal prison based on the level of criminal facilitation, because all of the people of the state, the entire state, is facilitating the state's criminal system of surveillance. You're facing federal prison as a beginning measure for justice for that targeted individual, as you provide an intolerable level of aiding the government and keeping an American citizen under surveillance for the purpose of murdering and kidnapping that American citizen. Third parties, the people of the state, such as corporate actors, corrupt businesses such as Courtyard by Marriott, it's federal prison. And you're understanding the level of assistance of facilitation that the innkeeper, the third party, creates and provides while they're making money. And it's very highly malicious because it's supposed to appear as a legitimate business. You're never making any, on the surface, any I wouldn't say never, but you are not ordinarily making any connection between the pattern of conduct that the ordinary targeted individual is alleging. Even that targeted individual is not making that connection regarding the facilitating venues and the environment and the state acting in concert, being a part of the pattern of conduct. They're not making that level of connections. This is showing the multi-layers of malice. Malice is speaking to the unlawful threat that you pose to an American citizen's life. That malice, that's directly commensurate with regard to the unlawful threat that's going to be punished under federal law. Corporate actors such as Courtyard by Marriott that have a fake sun over me at 7:49 in the morning on the same side of the building that I just captured it at approximately 12:50. Let me get the timestamp. I took a screenshot. In the screenshot, you will see at the top the fake sun that's outside face. It's over the pool as I'm facing the pool. And remember, you'll remember as you look at the images, I'm outside of the entrance. I capture video. I'm at the entrance, the front portion where you can see the logo, Courtyard by Marriott. That's the front of the building. My hotel room is at the back of the building. But as I walk out the front, like I stated, the fake sun, necessarily as you isolate the universe, because there's already preceding evidence showing that this is under no circumstances the sun. And everyone around you is monitoring you and keeping you under surveillance, which is an unlawful threat and psychologically harmful to the American citizen subject to it, especially as you document it. And the entity knows that you're documenting, and the entity continues. That's why Paige Allen, who's group stalking at the front desk, I captured this Caucasian female's image, which is not necessary to prosecute. You're going to be prosecuted based on where is the venue located. The federal government knows who you are, what you are doing. Even if you are an employee, you are especially subject to federal prison. It's literally an admission. And this is the ease with which, upon understanding the pattern of conduct, the P.O.C, that prosecution just trickles down into all the ways in which the state is doing it. That's where you're getting to very easy prosecutions. And this is serving to disincentivize group stalking in the states. I want to be clear. I'm at the front portion of the entrance of the Courtyard by Marriott, and I take a picture of it. I go back inside, and I'm at the back portion, meaning I'm looking at the pool. I'm standing at an exit facing the pool, which is the same direction that my hotel room is facing. Room 310, facing the same direction that I'm facing at the exit, facing the pool on the first floor. Again, after 12 o'clock in the afternoon. I am capturing this. Let me recall so that you can, let me put this on the podcast regarding the significance of the it's highly probative evidence and showing vivid illustrations of showing the scientific impossibility. That scientific impossibility, you're understanding intent. The people of the state, under no circumstance, you're understanding what is a whole fake reality in California. It's not just on the Hollywood studios that they're acting. This whole existence in California is on a stage. They're all actors. They're all bad actors. When you are looking at the plain evidence of an entirely fake sun, Satan is ruling this society in California, and they're all acting on a stage. It's my job to show you all the lights, camera, action, if you will, because they're all acting, and they're bad actors, and they're caught with their pants all the way down around their ankles, so to speak. When I'm showing you the fake sun that's remaining over me at the same side of the building at 12:55 p.m., and you're recalling my documentation as I'm at this same venue on the third floor, facing the same direction, where the sun would not be at the same exact address. And you're looking at the bottom portion of the screenshot captured today, November 11th, 2024 at 12:56 p.m. While on this facing the same direction inside of the same building, I'm looking at the light source that I took a picture of at 12:55 in the afternoon. That is evidence of stationary maintenance of a light source, indicative of a crime scene where the state of California is engaged in its criminal system that is necessarily including intentional monitoring behaviors, which are demonic. All right, this is what I'm documenting inside of the hotel room, where Paige Allen and everyone else working for the venue are organizing state surveillance, acting toward the murder and kidnapping of American citizens. And Paige Allen does it while she's collecting a paycheck. Okay, this is a third party that's acting with an unlawful level of malice while she's engaged in monitoring my evidence. Oh, Paige Allen's going to federal prison, in other words. Absolute disregard for the constitutional human rights of another. Paige Allen is just one name of a third party. Paige Allen represents the people of the state, because this fake sun, this ornament in the sky hovering over this venue, remaining as long as I stay, remains over me as I drive away from the presence of Paige Allen and every other sex offender who's group stalking me at this hotel. That intolerable facilitation, while profiting and doing so with the whole population that's swarming around me, keeping my genitalia and everything else I'm doing under surveillance inside of the hotel room, which is a private space. That's why you're going to federal prison while working at a third-party innkeeper's business establishment. It's relevant for RICO charges. It's not a legitimate business. It is as illegal as sex trafficking through your nail salon. All right. You at the front portion, you've got your nail salon, you've got your customers, your clients to keep face. All right. But in the back, you're funneling in bodies. All right. You're having them transported in large trucks into the basement of that nail salon, and you're engaging in a whole brothel. You've got sex trafficking of people, of children, and you're placing it on all manner of criminal conduct, all manner of sexual violence, all manner of violation of federal law while you are operating a business. It's relevant for RICO charges, no matter the fact that it's also absolutely demonic, absolutely psychotic. All right. I just want to be clear. This federal group stalking and monitoring is directly relevant and what is leading to inevitable RICO charges as well. The pattern of conduct in this body of evidence is also that which the federal government can directly reference and use in order to prosecute under RICO. Okay, so it's currently, I'm going to get back to what I'm prosecuting, which is federal group stalking and monitoring, criminal surveillance. But corrupt businesses, you're talking about prosecuting these businesses under more than one body of law. But the entity, you're talking about the people of the state that are using the specific environment, which is the property of a business establishment. And all the property is a means where the people of the state and the state itself, they come and they can come in the parking lot and just park in the parking lot, sit in their vehicles and engage in surveillance. This is the malice. This is what you're punishing with regard to the ease with which a corrupt society is keeping an American citizen under surveillance, the ease with which you're engaging in a sex offense. And then you go home to your family and paste pictures on social media about how beautiful your wife and kids are, or your husband and kids are, or your girlfriend or boyfriend, or whatever it is that they do to look like they're normal, and they're not. They're raging, sexually violent predators and stalkers who are ticking time bombs. Ticking time bombs. No hyperbole. That's what they're doing. That's what they don't want you to know about what they're doing. And everybody's on a stage acting in California. As you can see, it's an unpersuasive stage. The sun is clearly fake. All right. It looks like a cardboard piece that's hanging right up. That's how fake it looks on this stage, which is the state of California. You're going to be prosecuted for trying to deceive people into thinking that they actually have privacy, that they actually have the right that they are exercising while they're going about their life. You're going to federal prison for that while you're trying and conspiring to murder that person that's going about minding their business, living their life, which they have a right under the Constitution, which is, again, rights that are legally referenced, but these are not man-given or government-issued rights. You have a God-given right, and in America, we are supposedly referring to that right. We are apparently, supposedly, purportedly ratifying that right, that you have a right to a certain level of existence and privacy, just as a human being. Human rights are implied in the Constitution. The state of California is violating all manner of your right to exist in the state and in this country. And the people that live in the state are a part of the government's crime. It is unfathomable what they're engaging in together. And you need to understand that this is the work of Satan. Satan has engaged in so much. The state of California has gone so far with regard to rebelling against the Lord Jesus. He is judging them and telling every single last one of their secrets. That's the purpose of prosecuting and documenting the P.O.C. They will also be subject to a judgment in the natural, and it is the prosecution of the state of California. It's currently 1:12 p.m. The fake sun's going to remain over me. You already know what the P.O.C. looks like. There's a fake sun remaining over the parking lot at Woodside Senior Apartments in Ontario. I am literally documenting the fake sun over me in the Woodside Senior Apartments. The entities flying over the Ontario International Airport, hovering over a senior citizen complex. Just absolutely unfathomable, absolutely imprudent, unwise, clearly obvious in its criminality, because the entity has not been subject to scrutiny. It has not been measured against common sense, against a knowledge regarding ordinary laws that exist at the state level. The entity hasn't been subjected to this. Why? Because the people of the state are group stalking with those that are violating quiet enjoyment rights at that senior citizen community, while planes and helicopters are hovering over their roofs, flying in circles over them, monitoring me with them. That's why this common sense analysis that I'm providing with regard to what is a federal violation of criminal surveillance, the entity's not used to this. And that's why they fail so miserably with what is, again, showing what are a bunch of idiots stalking under the fake sun, because this is not rocket science. You're talking about what is outright abuse of the government, because this is very plain to see. The whole world's going to see that California is filled with the demon possessed. They are a public safety concern because it's happening near you. This isn't the natural environment. And this is the work of Satan. Satan is present. Satan is a spirit. He's present through people. And you are able to perceive it through also the unnatural environment that surrounds you. All right. And Satan is getting more and more desperate and more aggressive. As Satan's devices, like the pattern of conduct of group stalking, this is terrorism in the U.S., and that's exactly how it's going on the books. Domestic terrorism in the U.S. amongst the hypocritical American government occurs under the malicious guise of everyday, ordinary American society when they're engaging in ongoing animalistic, barbaric methods of terrorizing and stalking American citizens until they can murder them or kidnap them into one of the facilities. That's how terrorism is taking place in America. And it's not different, and it's not more civilized. It's not more dignified than what's going on in other countries, in dark places where we as a country, like to place ourselves on some sort of pedestal as though we are different or better or any leader, and we're not. It does not bring me joy to speak that, because I'm an American citizen. But I'm also speaking on behalf of those that do not serve Satan, that do not agree with, nor support, nor would I ever compromise in participating in this amongst another person. I don't care if I can stand that person. This is evil. And by the way, there is no reason or legitimate reason to participate in acting toward the demise of another human being with a soul. You will answer to the Lord Jesus for that, and you're going to be prosecuted in California for it. This is not only criminal, it's wicked. It is out of hell. And you need to recognize this specific environment because it's surrounding you in whatever state that you're in the United States. Now, again, I'm in the United States, so this is not limited to any jurisdictional boundary. You're understanding what is Satan doing through the specific environment, and what are the demon possessed doing in that environment, acting fully in sync. These are demons that are in the demonic environment, acting under the impression, the control of Satan, of their own knowledge, willfulness, and of their own volition. These demon possessed people know exactly what they're doing. But they are fully deceived by Satan. Satan has all of them in a chokehold, and this is how you have public corruption amongst the government and the constituents of the state. It is the pattern of conduct of federal group stalking and monitoring. This is how you get bare bones evidence of what is nothing other than you're looking like a bunch of psychopaths under a fake sun. Who thinks of that? Satan thinks of that. This is a demonic imitation of the natural environment. The wannabe God. He's not a God. He's not the equal opposite of God. All right, but he is a powerful being. The fact that you've got millions of people in the state of California under his influence is speaking to the power that Satan holds. And this is speaking to those, if you do not already know Christ. Not only is it a benefit to your soul because he loves you and he died for you, he who committed no sin, he who died for those who hated him. It's literally to the fact Satan is so desperate. You need Lord Jesus just to be protected from this spirit of Satan who will literally ruin your life. These psychopaths are running as fast as they can into federal prison. That's not a sane mind. They are literally out of their minds while they're facing the prosecution for engaging in this criminal conduct. They are literally out of their minds while they are being made sex offenders. And psychopaths stalking corporately for no reason. No reason. This is one of the benefits now that are being made known that's directly relevant with regard to group stalking and monitoring. The demon possessed. They're walking around. They're hollow dummies. The dead men walking. That's what I'm documenting. They're dead men walking. That is also one of the incidental benefits of knowing Christ, Lord Jesus, the true and living God. He is the only one. And one day every knee will bow and every tongue shall confess that he is Lord. You're either going to do it voluntarily right now to your own benefit, or you will be made to bow down and you will submit and you will confess Lord Jesus. It's going to happen. He's coming back in judgment, and he is telling the secrets of the demon possessed, those who serve Satan, and he's telling on Satan himself. It's not about what you want to believe and your constitutional right to exercise the freedom of religion as you have it your way in America. This country is going to hell in a handbasket. It's not about your so-called liberty rights anymore. It's about the reality of the return of the Lord Jesus. He is king and he's coming back, and he's telling everyone secrets. Why? Because he's a gracious and merciful God. Repent while you have time to, or be made out of your mind like these demons that I'm exposing. I'm intentionally shaming and openly embarrassing them while they're engaging in abnormal, animalistic, Neanderthalic behaviors. It is currently 1:19 p.m. This is the pattern of conduct while I'm subject to this P.O.C. at Courtyard by Marriott, and demons are pacing behind me, still group stalking. All right. It's not traffic. It's an obsessed population who are monitoring their own prosecution, their own demise. That's what they're doing. And it is very sad. It's very tragic. While you are at the same time benefiting from witnessing a testimony of one whom the Lord has rescued from harm. And it's not because I'm some special person. I'm justified by the blood of Jesus Christ, and he will rescue you. He will deliver you. You can be saved as well. You can experience the same testimony. He loves this. This is what he died for. No witchcraft, no demon, no wizard, no so-called wannabe elite. There's nothing elite about a bunch of demons that are stalking your genitalia. Those are called sex offenders, in case you didn't know that. There's so many things there's a misnomer. Why are these wicked, disgusting things being referenced as elite? Some sort of Illuminati? In case you did not know, the demon possessed, these witches and wizards, they rely on things that are sexually perverted. They like to prey on kids. They equate that Satan has them deceived in their mind that they're going to get some spiritual power while they prey on those that can't defend themselves. Like a vampire lusts for blood, so demons, witches, and warlocks, they lust for the genitalia, for the sexual vitality of children. Those are the ones that are making child porn and trafficking kids and raping men and women. Those are the ones that are doing that. There's nothing elite about it. There's nothing cool about it. There is nothing. You are highly deceived while you're laughing about gang stalking people. Who told you that that is cool? I'm not only prosecuting. Let me put something in its proper perspective. A bunch of losers are obsessed with another person. That's what that is. When I was growing up, and I'm not too old, okay? I wasn't, with regard to the world standards of being cool, I wasn't a loner. I wasn't an outsider. And I understand what being cool is. And in my definition of being cool, it's making your own way. Okay, coming from whatever your circumstances may be, you don't have to repeat that. You don't have to repeat that curse. And because you defy the norms, because you are naturally beautiful, because you like to have your verbs and your nouns agree when you speak, that's supposed to be some sort of thing to laugh at. That's called envy. It's called inferiority. Those who suffer from the plague of mediocrity and they can't stand out, and so they want to make the new norm being losers along with them, those are the ones who are gang stalking. I want to be clear, it is entirely pathetic. And it's a deception of the enemy, because it's not just at this petty level that I'm describing it. They are conspiring against people to murder and kidnap them while they serve Satan. And Satan targets those that are not a part of his camp. That's where that pettiness rises and matures. It's very dangerous. Learn who you are in Christ, who he made you to be. He only made one of you. You establish what the norm is. You establish what being quote unquote cool is, which you should not be out here looking outside of yourself regarding what is acceptable. What is acceptable has been decreed by the Lord God who created you. It's in his word. Obeying the leadings of the promptings of his Holy Spirit, as opposed to what Satan would have you focus on. What these plastic Spell binding. They speak spells while you're watching them, while you're intoxicated by them watching their movies and listening to their music. They're casting spells over you. It's pathetic. Okay? They want to have the influence of those who they really want to be like. You know who they want to be like? Those who stand out, those who have the audacity, who have the courage to be who it is that they're born to be. They want to be like those who follow Christ. That's what they will never admit to you. They don't want you standing out either. They want you following the crowd. And the crowd is headed straight to the pit of hell. Don't be deceived. It's currently 1:23 p.m. The entity is keeping a fake sun, and that fake sun, as the documentation already shows, it remains over me while I depart from another venue, and people are running straight as fast as they can, pedal to the metal, not only toward hell if they do not repent, but they're all going to federal prison. I've already documented that. So repentance is not going to help them with regard to this prosecution and the consequences for engaging in this. All right, but the fake sun remains on me, and the evidence already proves that this is the built-in pattern. It is 1:23. There is still no natural environment that will include daylight savings time or not. The fake sun being over me over the Hesperia Walmart, which you could see outside of the window in the hallway on the third floor. That's still it's 1:23 p.m. And so with regard to daylight savings time, we're still ahead of schedule. And I'm showing you the fake sun at 7:49 in the morning. There is no rectifying that. Okay, this is showing again the demons who are following Satan, the demon possessor group stalking. Satan makes a fool out of you, and you need to know that he's not your friend. He'll betray you. He'll laugh at you while you suffer the consequences. He has nothing to lose. He wants to keep you blinded until he can have you dragged, because you're working on you have to work really hard to end up in hell. He literally died for your sins. He continues to show mercy and grace while giving you warnings, such as the P.O.C. Speaking of things to come, it's called prophecy. These are acts of love by a merciful God who doesn't have to be merciful. My goodness, he's holy. He doesn't have to tolerate us. We're his creation. He exhibits mercy and grace on a daily basis, and demons are still toward their own demise. It is not merely a prosecution. They're headed toward hell while they fail to appreciate the warnings that they've been given over and over and over again. I am not the first one that's been warning them. And as I speak, the state that's monitoring me is listening to a warning that it fails to appreciate, and it will answer. It will answer for that. But in the meantime, it's facing judgment in the natural. Okay? Their spiritual darkness is no longer hidden. This state's practicing in witchcraft, this witch coven of demons that are stalkers in California. It's going to be prosecuted in the natural. All right, it's 1:25 p.m. This is P.O.C. All right, it's currently, again, 1:26 p.m. 8UWW 705, 5WXU 698, 7NFF 284. The same federal plate on the white Dodge Charger. It is JO170VIM, license 9PLH216. They're group stalking on video under the fake sun as I walk outside of the entrance. That last plate that I just read, they're group stalking, waiting for me to walk out. And you can literally narrate what the demons are doing because the fake sun is moving as I move. So you know that everything that's occurring around me, they're engaging in surveillance and gang stalking me as I move around. And that is, again, removing the stage that they're on as, I just happen to be walking into Spring Hill Suites right next. No, you're group stalking demons, and everybody knows that. All right, it's currently 23D ZUG, that's Florida, the next plate. License 9JLJ405, license 8ZOR493. BHT V79, that's Colorado, 9JRF819, 9BYY091. These are the license plates at the property at 9619 Mariposa in Hesperia, California, where the fake sun remains over me. Literally over my vehicle, no longer over the building as I'm driving. Let me take a picture of that right now. All right, just additional evidence showing what is, again, the poor performance that a bunch of demons who are deceived by Satan, not only regarding their soul, but regarding the engagement in group stalking somebody, also somebody that's prosecuting you, that's documenting you. This is just so many lessons to learn. You never engage in violating an ongoing federal investigation. You want to somehow butt into an ongoing investigation as though you're going to stop it, or you're going to scare someone to death from investigating, from documenting you, you're delusional. That's a federal crime. It's obstruction of justice. There are many lessons that the entity is going to learn while it's monitoring my evidence and continuously and engaging and increasing in aggression and hostility, which is personified through the louder amplification, through the prolonged maintenance of audible activity, which is under all circumstances at any volume the criminal elements of monitoring. It's surveillance. But the demons, they do more. The mentally ill, they continue. They do not relent. These are the demons that are marching toward their death, by the way. They're headed straight for hell. They're headed straight for the pit. And if Christ Jesus comes back before they die in the natural, you are headed straight for that same demise. This is, again, the millions of people in California that they have an entirely fake existence. They're not even living real life. They're not even driving on a freeway, and it's totally innocent. Like, they're all stalking even on a freeway. That's how pathetic their life is. That's very sad. License 9NGA013, 9LCR948. License 7NRE494, 9KVG526, 7KAB401, 8CLT358. Right, and the people of the state whose license plate I'm documenting, those are just the ones that happen to be here. The documentation is not limited to to what I'm capturing on my own. Maintaining my own effort to document the entity, to prosecute it. Which is also showing any ordinary American citizen can document to whatever. Don't put yourself in danger. You don't have to do all that. I've proven the fact of group stalking. No one's going to criminally defame you for it. And you don't have to put your life in danger talking to a psychopath that's wearing a badge and bearing weapons, because those demons are going to federal prison. 1M95473, 1MJO810, those are Idaho plates. They're all monitoring while I was sitting in my vehicle the whole time documenting ongoing impunity traffic. This is impunity by the entity that's going to federal prison here at Courtyard. The pacing, driving by me in the parking lot, this is ongoing impunity by the people who are going to federal prison at Courtyard. 9CVX032. That's how you're going to use the entity's criminal activity to prosecute that entity. All right, crossing path into the fake sun that's remaining over Spring Hill Suites as I move, 8KJE534. It is currently 1:30 p.m. All right, pacing. License plate 8HYP947. And let me get this license. I can't really see that one. You can scratch that. 34583C2, Brother Cabinets. Using that commercial vehicle to engage in surveillance. License, the other demon that was pacing, 912RA. That's a handicap plate on a blue van. It's an Odyssey. All right, all the gang stalkers, the commercial actors who are group stalking, IHOP, Del Taco, Mobile, Chevron, Starbucks. You have the Kaiser Permanente. In case you did not know, you got a bunch of demons that dress up, because all that is costumes. These are demons. This is the demonic society, California, that's engaged in a demonic system of surveillance. And these demons dress up as nurses and doctors. They go to corrupt institutions that are gang stalking as well. They get their licensures. They get their little official means of practicing or being in a hospital and engaging in a job while they're engaging in group stalking at a hospital. Those are the same people that exercise authority to, quote unquote, diagnose, to engage in providing you any sort of a diagnosis also over when you're ill and you go to the doctor. These demons are the ones telling you about what's wrong with you and what you need to do and what you should stop doing. This is just, again, a public safety concern regarding the entity that is engaged in group stalking. It practices medicine. It practices law. It is in law enforcement in California. All right. It's 1:32 p.m. License 9KTC163. Nine LNL935, 6ZRM055, 6YSS521, 8KOJ042, 9JDS532. These are sex offenders that are monitoring my genitalia while they drive up and down the street around the hotel while a fake sun rises and sets over that hotel. This is the state's pattern of conduct. You got a bunch of demons that are lined up on a street. This is pathetic. All right. While they're all gang stalking as a society, this is a line of demons. Okay. These are the hollow dummies, if you will, meaning they're dead on the inside. These are dead men walking, and they're all gang stalking in the state of California. It's a tragic reality. I'm going to capture the fake sun that's no longer remaining over Courtyard. It's remaining over me as I drive away from Courtyard at 1:33 p.m. Alrighty, you will see the images. I'm at the intersection of Main Street and MARIPOSA, where there's not going to be any sun it was during the 2 p.m. hour. So if I recollect correctly, it was either 2:17 p.m. I took more than one video at the Walmart in Hesperia during the time I was staying at the facilitating venue, which is La Quinta Inn. I captured the fake sun. Where it's outside of my window at the Hesperia's courtyard, it is not over the Holiday Inn off of Key Point in Hesperia, or the La Quinta Inn off of Mariposa in Hesperia. It's remaining directly over, which is the evidence is showing. Not only is it remaining directly over me in alignment to me, replete with what is light inside of my hotel room that is not naturally occurring either. This is the supernatural, where demons are engaging in stalking you while that supernatural activity creation surrounds you, and they all want to falsely depict you as being some sort of crazy person if you dare report it. They will in turn find themselves in mental wards and in federal prison. That's the injustice while a population is targeting you. All right, and it is the work of Satan, and that's what's going on in California. Like I said, California is not the place to be. They don't even like their own lives. They don't like themselves, while they are obsessed with pasting themselves on television, in movies, on social media for you to quote unquote worship them. In case you don't know, you are worshiping Satan. You're worshiping Satan's minions. All right. But you're worshiping people that don't even like themselves. Don't do that. The only one worthy of worship is the one who died for your sins, King Jesus himself, by the way. And it does not matter who you are, where you live, what your background is, who your parents are, what they did to you. None of that matters. Your value, the validation that you should only be seeking, is from your maker. It doesn't matter what's coming out of the mouth of a lying person who is being used by Satan to make you devalue yourself. It's all a great, big, gigantic mind trick. If you could, understand that. I just want to break it down in layman's terms so that anyone can understand it. This is not a time for me to be eloquent. I just want to be clear. Satan is just messing with your mind. That's it. That's it. And the sooner that you wake up to that, the sooner that you can actually be free. And true freedom is found in Christ. Freedom from what other people think. Freedom from, even as the Lord Jesus has provided for me, while I continue to serve him. This is freedom from what Satan thought he was going to imprison me in a ward or in a prison. No, contrary to that, the demons that sought to target me, they're going to find themselves in four walls. All right. And you can be free in your life and spiritually speaking as well. All right. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. That's scripture. That's true, though. It's the actual truth. This is what I am also speaking to while I am not only prosecuting, I'm not only documenting. It's literally a testimony to the reality of Christ. So I just want to speak to that. You'll see the fake sun remaining over me as I drive away from yet another exposure, another incident of terrorism. I'm the object of sexual obsession by a population who are stalking me, and at the same time, while they're obsessed with my genitalia, they're also mad at the fact that I am exposing them while you're stalking me. Stalking is born of obsession, so you're both obsessed with me, but you're also mad and you're hostile toward me. Understand the mental illness behind that. Psychopaths, highly imbalanced, severely disturbed. They're both obsessed and angry. That is, if you don't understand that, those are the same ingredients where people come up missing. Their bodies end up in fields. These are the people of the state that engage in such crimes. And the corrupt entity, they're the same ones that, quote unquote, discover the body. I'm just giving you a hypothetical where this same exact fact pattern results in the loss of life by American citizens who are subject to obsession and also hostility by demons. The corrupt entity then discovers the body in the field somewhere. Nobody knew where it's at, and nobody knows what happened. No witnesses. All right. No fingerprints. That it's an ongoing investigation regarding what happened. Oh, they probably killed themselves. They were disturbed for so. There's all manner of ways in which this pattern of conduct results in the demise of American citizens, and it's on the news every day. It's on the news every single day. All right. They're just not talking about the fact that the states are engaged in this criminal system of group stalking, which is a part of the facts that are not being addressed regarding the investigations that the same state that's engaged in group stalking is maintaining control over. So I just want to put that out there. But nonetheless, it's currently 1:38 p.m. The entity is keeping a subdued fake sun. This is the reality of demons that are aware. It's not the natural environment. So the fake sun remains over me, and the subdued fake sun is equally a fake sun. These demons are stalking me while they're driving on the roads in California. They don't like themselves. There is nothing to be worshiping or idolizing, following, subscribing to on the internet. Get your own life. Don't be like these demons that don't have their own. They're pacing all around, waiting to the moment that they literally die and lose their soul. Because this is not a real life. This is not a true experience that the Lord intended for them. And they're not going to get away with it under the law, trying to entrap me. That's not what's going to happen. They've found themselves in a trap that their own leader, Satan, cannot help them out of. And by the way, Satan finds it funny when you face consequences for serving him. He finds it funny. He hates you. I just want to be clear. I'm going to speak the truth. Satan hates you while you're serving him. He hates you. All right. It's currently 1:39 p.m. This is P.O.C. License 8WIM855. Terrorizing via impossible light activity that's designed to cause literally a wreck. These are demons that are threatening my life while I'm driving a dangerous machine. Engineered lights swiping all inside of your vehicle, which is a terrorizing threat. It's occurring while they also know that you are documenting them. And that is a demonstration of impunity. It is worthy of federal prison. Also because it's occurring on the roads and the highways, which is literally a real-time threat. While stalkers are chasing you down, which is all you're not going anywhere legally relevant. You're chasing someone down under a fake sun. Demons in California. I'm capturing the specific environment while I'm driving on the 15 freeway, and I'm subject to, again, terrorism via impossible light activity. That third party who I documented is a part of the demons that are surrounding me on a freeway, threatening my life and safety and my well-being while I'm being pursued with impossible light activity, shooting forward inside of my car, across my sun visors in front of me, while the fake sun is directly outside of my passenger side window. All manner of a communication of a threat by an entity that's stalking you and communicating an ongoing determination to stalk you. Because that's all that's happening under an entirely fake environment where demons that are not well mentally are chasing you down. They're not well. Okay, it is currently 2:07 p.m. This is P.O.C. This is documentation of impossible light, the admission of third parties who are indeed stalking. All right, the people of the state are group stalking at the car wash. This is putting, again, this system and the appearance, the posture that American citizens in California want to maintain while they're literally a population full of stalkers. Impossible light activity just traveled through this building while a bunch of demons are sitting around as though they're just waiting for their car and nothing else interesting is going on. They're all group stalking. And Ontario Mills 76 and Mills Circle in Ontario, California in particular, is making money while group stalking. That's a whole other separate federal offense. This is currently, let me see if I get the address, 4350 Mills Circle in Ontario, California. They're monitoring me, and they're also taking my money and doing so while the people of the state are also paying them while they're engaged in a corrupt business, which is simultaneously and organizing federal group stalking and monitoring. Remember what the demons are doing. They're doing everything that they're doing under the guise of running a business, engaging in business, pursuant to the same exact pattern of conduct. So your car is ready with simultaneity to what I do. The car comes out of the drive. Out of the car wash with simultaneity to what I do. As I document the demons that are group stalking at the 76, more and more impossible light activity terrorizing me. That's subject to what is the criminal prosecution of a business that's facilitating this criminal conduct, because that's what's happening right now. It's 2:39 p.m. It is currently, again, Mills Circle Car Wash. The entire Ontario Mills is a group stalker. I've been here and on Inland Center Drive at the mall early in the morning. The fake sun is over me at this venue. It's not the natural environment. In addition to being rising and setting over me at Alvarado Gardens, again, to the absolute departure of anything remotely close to nature that the sun would be at one apartment complex. Nevertheless, that's what the entity did, and you use that evidence to compare, well, there's not possibly any sun over the Ontario Mills inside and outside of daylight savings time, while I am showing you at the same time it's remaining stationary over me in an entirely different region. While I'm in San Diego, while I'm in Kern County, that's Bakersfield, California, while I'm remaining at the La Quinta Inn where I just came from in Hesperia, remaining at the Holiday Inn where I just came from, the city of Hesperia, where the entity kept the fake sun en route to this venue, which is where it's parked right over me, where I am present, surrounded by a bunch of psychopaths, sex offenders, all right, stalking at a car wash. This is how pathetic the people in California are, and this is the posture that Satan causes people to plummet to with regard to the absence of any genuine existence, no real life. When you're stalking at a car wash, when you're stalking in bathrooms, and nothing that you're even doing, even by yourself or as what you want to appear as a family, you're a bunch of demons who are stalking another person together. It's pathetic. That's what's happening at the 76 car wash, however. I'm going to prosecute this business. But the prosecution of the state of California, specifically the Ontario Mills Mall, that's already sitting on the record. I've documented them engaged in criminal summoning, or rather, not only criminal summoning, but group stalking with the Ontario police, fake sun, everything with Omnitrans. It's sitting on the record. It's their criminal engagement in this state system is already a matter of record. This is impunity by the entire entity, but particularly this third party that is engaged in terrorism. This is relevant to, again, the RICO charges while you are using your business to engage in and organize, facilitate state surveillance. That's the purpose of murdering and kidnapping somebody. All right, and the demons in California engage in this on an everyday basis. This is the way of life in California, serving Satan. And California is not only being exposed for it, it's being prosecuted for it. This is the pattern of conduct that is ceaselessly underway. It's 2:42 p.m. I'll go ahead and capture the fake son. I'm going to get these license plates since they want to engage in terrorism. I'm sitting here minding my business. I can't watch YouTube videos in peace without being reminded that I already know that these are demons. I already know that they're all stalkers. They want to engage in terrorism with impossible light activity. They want to be documented and having their names individually added to the pool of defendants. It's currently 2:42 p.m. Alrighty, license 55606F3. DJ 92V24 paper. Demons stalking in the parking lot, slamming their trunk with regard to audible activity creation. That's Arizona CAK0122. License 9FHV782. License 9ESV873. License 8ZNU954. The entire Ontario Mills Mall is a group stalker. That's a lot of money with regard to the civil damages. That's a lot of money. That's a high threat to your life. 6EID083, 9ESV873. I read that one. Just want to make sure I get that. License 9MJY750. License 7CKM277. License 8WYE538. License 7VRZ993. 42630A4. I'm going to get documentation of the fake sun that's remaining over me at a 76 gas station. I'm at the Ontario Mills Mall, like I said, 7 o'clock in the morning, in the afternoon, and documentation of what is engineer light that's supposed to be a sunset when I'm here in the evening. This is all manner of state surveillance. This is P.O.C. 7LKA971. Just documenting a whole bunch of demons. So mentally ill, they accelerate off of a precipice to their own demise. License 8XHG559, 9CAU373. That's amplification of audible activity. It's not traffic. These demons are stalking. License 84595C1. License 6EID083. DF37M89, that's paper. 6SFZ459. License 6FLY304. Obsessively stalking as I walk around. 9LIK817. Impossible light behind them while they go to Del Taco, who's group stalking with them. Impossible light stalking, going to a drive-thru. They're not even going to actually get food for themselves. They're going to stalk me. That's how pathetic these demons are. These puppets of Satan in California are. They're all bad actors. They're not even living at a real life. It's all fake and it's pathetic. It's pathetic. 5WZY609. You're not actually going to a drive-thru because you're hungry. You're going because it's some malicious way of stalking somebody and that person's not supposed to know about it. That's mental illness exposed, by the way. That's a psychopath. 93522R2. License 5FXM395, 9HIX150. Okay, I'm going to repeat this again in case I didn't read it. 5WZY609, but it sounds familiar. I think I just stated that. All right, 8WZN779, 9PNH032, 6RJS970, 6EDA783, 8MMM714. I'm going to capture the fake sun that's over this car wash. And there is no vantage point where any sunlight is going to be dynamic or inside of the building. Everybody getting their car washed is a gang stalker, a group stalker. And you also know their secrets. They're a bunch of demons. Okay? Bad actors in California. They're not just actors that want to be on the stage, in theaters and in movies. They're acting as a way of life in California. You just have the celebrities that get paid a salary to do it and get recognition. These demons are acting as a way of life in California. 9NEW013, 9HWC174, 7VAK207. 6YFV669. Can't go to the car wash without having your life threatened. You can't go to the bathroom without the public being aware of it. 8HJC532. License 8U.O.C.345, 9JVG.063. Apologies if I'm repeating. 9DKF002. Just make sure I get everything. 8K79050. All right, and this is just the immediate environment. I've already done this before. I have literally documented hundreds and hundreds of people. Okay, I'm beyond that. I'm prosecuting enough. I got everybody in the immediate environment right here in the parking lot. I'm going to get the fake sun. I am beyond the days where I would literally devote, and that's because I was laying down precedent. I was establishing precedent, creating a foundation, legally speaking, with regard to what is a pattern of conduct and all the people that are engaging in it, and also creating a pool of defendants that remain a part of the criminal act. Federal group stalking and monitoring is an ongoing, ceaseless engagement in that system. It never pauses. It never stops, including while the entity is engaged in kidnapping you. This is a criminal act that's been going on, as I've been aware of it, documenting it for years. And that's also relevant to how long you're going to federal prison. That's relevant to impunity. That's relevant to how the entity is going to be punished. It's currently 2:48 p.m. The entity was at this time, and remember, daylight savings time has passed, but daylight savings time is literally irrelevant in the specific environment. It's not the natural environment. But let's be mindful. The fake sun was remaining over me in Hesperia, the city that I just came from, where the entity, the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, the San Bernardino County Fire, those are the government actors, the city of Hesperia gang stalking me with helicopter at that Walmart. The same Walmart that was literally across the field from my hotel room, where I've shown you the fake sun at 7:49 in the morning. That is never the natural environment. The demons listen to me document them. That's impunity, because that's audible activity under a fake sun. And by the way, that real-time reaction, because that's what that is, that's what these demons do, that's showing their mental illness. They engage in more aggressive, hostile conduct. Understand that that's what's happening in the hotel rooms, just what you just heard. As I document amplification, the demons get louder. The ongoing activity creation prolongs even more. The more that I document every word that I type in my phone or on my laptop or as I upload it to the internet, just like what you heard, that's the personification of a threat to your life. It's amplified audible activity, which is accomplishing monitoring. Monitoring is ongoing to result in murdering or kidnapping you. And these are the charges, the allegations of that which you would report, which is supposed to result in your being criminally defamed. Because of that level of malice, you have a lot of people that are going to federal prison. That's impunity. While you're hearing and while they're pacing all around, they're still monitoring, they're still group stalking in defiance of federal laws that are going to be enforced against them. It is, again, 2:49 p.m. There's no sun that was, no natural environment, which you already know. Because at 2:49, 1:49, or 3:49, there's no sun, natural environment that's going to be over the Walmart in Hesperia that was across the field from my hotel room in Hesperia. I could see the Walmart where the entity flew over my head in helicopter at that Walmart, which Walmart likes to practice. I've literally got videos, a playlist of videos where I'm subject to terrorism by this same entity, and the entity likes to arrive and terrorize me in helicopters. You got people that are going to federal prison for that, all right? That's audible activity, while 76 is group stalking. All right, everything they're doing is with regard to the audible activity creation, and it's also impunity. You're not exercising any rights. You're not in operation of a legitimate business. You're monitoring me, and that's why the fake sun is here. And those that are not natural-born citizens, it's deportation. Deportation. And your impunity is directly relevant to what you deserve. Deportation. Okay? It is, again, 2:50 p.m. This is P.O.C. Let me get the specific environment. Alrighty, you'll see impossible light activity in the shade next to all these group stalkers that are waiting for their car to be finished. You'll see impossible light activity inside of the lobby where I was subject to terrorism, while impossible light activity like a floating ghost, but it was just dynamic light. But that's the nature of this impossible light. It's entirely demonic. Thank you. Oh yeah, sure. And the engineer light is stationary above the demons that are waiting inside of the lobby. Excuse me. That's captured in images. It's currently 2:52 p.m. Here you go. The key is inside. The key is inside? Okay. Yes. This is the pattern of conduct, and all the elements of monitoring remain underway while I'm getting my car washed. And this is speaking to, again, the level of sexual violence that you're subject to. You can't go to the grocery store without the people of the state stalking you in a grocery store. This is to show how pathetic the demon-possessed are. This is to show how much Satan has made a fool of people who serve him. And now their system, their behavior, their witchcraft, because that's what group stalking is, demonic activity. It's ritualistic, while they maintain this activity creation, wanting to appear normal, as though they're engaging in what is everyday conduct, having nothing to do with you. I'm just a normal person. What to do? Nothing going on here, folks. That's what group stalking is supposed to look like. And the target individual is supposed to look like somebody that is out of their mind, hallucinating, all right, paranoid. Those are the bombastic adjectives that are unjustly assigned to the target individual that is not mentally ill whatsoever. And I don't even mean, you don't even require spiritual gifts in order to discern demons, because everybody can hear the amplified audible activity. Everyone can see the impossible light activity. Everyone sees that. Everyone can see the documentation showing the scientific impossibility that could be the sun hunkered down at a lower elevation than a tree, while a plane and a helicopter flies higher than the sun, while the fake sun remains over one building that you're inside of for 10 to 12 hours in the day. It doesn't go anywhere. You don't need spiritual gifts to discern that. Okay, this is in fact demonic, and I stated before at the outset, these are demons. These are the demon possessed. They're monitoring, they're group stalking, and they're doing so in every facet of life. Literally the car wash, the grocery store, the doctor's office. You're going to the mall, you're going to the bathroom. They're stalking, monitoring every movement. Those are sex offenders that do that, by the way. Sex offenders. And that's what you need to know. Fills the state of California. This is P.O.C. It's currently 2:54 p.m. Those images are captured of impossible light activity as I capture the fake sun, and then you'll see impossible light activity that's sitting right there in the driveway. The people of the state who are the demons who are maliciously gang stalking in California, they are doing so, and they know that engineer light is there. They're not ignorant about they're not. Nor is it reasonable to even assume that or contend. I can play devil's advocate with regard to making the argument, conceding. I do it all the time. I do that because I understand what a genuinely ignorant observer may have questions. And this is to explain to the federal government, how is the state monitoring somebody? What is monitoring? How is it accomplishing surveillance? Those are the questions that I'm always answering, because I'm aware of that. I can empathize with somebody that actually doesn't know, that's actually not a Satan serving minion, feigning ignorance. What is it that you're looking for, an avenue to try to paint somebody crazy? That's what Satan does. That's a spirit, by the way. It's not even a natural, normal reaction to somebody that's making allegations that you may not understand, but you don't jump to conclusions talking about that person's crazy. There's nothing funny about somebody being mentally ill either. This is in every way showing what is the malice of the entity. The mentally ill demons who are psychopaths, sociopaths, far away from a conscience. All right. While they target those, and now they're just being embarrassed, and now they're just mad about the fact that they're being embarrassed on top of prosecuted. Not my problem. All right. The entity is engaging in this pattern of conduct at the car wash, at the doctor's office, in the bathrooms. All right. Where you live, where you work. All right. And as you prosecute the state, that's group stalking you at every type of place where you can be. There's no place where you're not subject to the surveillance by a whole population. Okay. The prospects there. This is very disturbing. There are more people who do than do not know Satan, serve Satan. That's unfortunate. There are more people that are already headed on the path straight to hell. That's where they're headed. That's the real life conclusion with regard to this pattern of conduct that requires the demonic. Right? So what is the condition of everybody that's participating in this demonic system? You got a lot of people that are the walking dead, all of them headed down the straight it's not the straight path, but headed straight down the same exact path, which is leading straight to death. Okay, straight to death. You have more people that are headed toward darkness than those that are not. My being a target individual is a real life example of that. Millions and millions of people choose Satan every day. They wake up choosing Satan. And that's an unfortunate reality. With regard to this pattern of conduct, though, it's a prosecution. It's a prosecution, and this is the ability under the existing constitution to prosecute an entire government and population that thought it could sacrifice you, that is murder you, kidnap you. 9MZF 167, impossible light activity, terrorism. License BQZ U21, that's Colorado. And this is I'm on Milliken. It's currently 2:57 p.m. The fake sun is no longer remaining over the 76 gas station. Okay, having nothing to do with nature. Neither does that impossible light activity, that engineered light. You can see my shadow as I raise my hand up in the corner of the lobby where demons think that you cannot identify, or you're not supposed to be aware of their whole little system. Well, I captured the impossible light activity sitting in a corner inside of that lobby. All right, there's no natural occurrence whereby that is occurring. That's the supernatural. It is as supernatural as the amplified audible activity by a bunch of hostile, aggressive stalkers that don't like you telling the fact that they're a bunch of sex offenders. They don't like that. But they like to do it, though. They just don't want nobody to know about it. All right, that's very sick and demented. And there's a particular place in hell reserved for people that refuse to repent when you are shown in your face the wickedness that you practice. There's a special place in hell for you. All right. It is currently 2:58 p.m. The documentation is showing the light source on the outside remaining as I walk around the building, that which is not possibly the sun. Then it remains in alignment with me as I walk around outside in the parking lot of that building. And then on the inside and outside where it's totally shade, I'm pointing my finger. You'll see impossible light activity just manifesting in the shade. That's demonic. It's a supernatural occurrence. And everybody around me is aware of that. It's so that they can engage in group stalking. Me. All right. It's also inside of the lobby. It is currently, again, 2:58 p.m. This is P.O.C. in Ontario, California. Erica Lorraine Spencer here. The following is an audio version of video evidence that is captured for purposes of mass distribution, which is why I am capturing it and sharing it on the podcast for evidentiary purposes and also to reveal the wealth of documentation that extends beyond what it is that I document on podcasts. Much of the video and images will be published onto the YouTube channel, the P.O.C, and it is also shared on the Google Drive. Again, this is for purposes of revealing what I remain subject to, which is federal group stalking and monitoring. It is a demonic system of state surveillance that the government is practicing in concert with the people of the state. And it should be known and well understood that for the government to engage in federal group stalking and monitoring, this is a crime that is committed with a criminal purpose to threaten the life of an American citizen. This is to conspire to murder and or permanently kidnap an American citizen while engaging in a perpetual sex offense in concert with the people of the state. Alrighty, it is currently 4:15 p.m. This is the U.S. store at 350 Glendale. There's the fake sun. Now, what is significant and probative? That's audible activity. 9CKW019. Criminal monitoring with a minor child. They're not in a rush anywhere under the fake sun. This is the same UPS store where the fake sun is over me at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock in the afternoon. This is not the natural environment, and it also has the uncanny ability to keep perfect alignment with me while crossing a path. 9BVA588. This is a population that's pacing all around me while I'm at the same venue where I've been at, and the fake sun is in its zenith over the top of my head. Right here, I capture FedEx group stalking, delivering a package in possible light activity on the sidewalk while demons are pacing. These are all demons. Impossible light activity is manifesting on the shade while a demon wants to appear disinterested in you. This is a group stalker, okay? And the sex offender, the psychopaths that are stalking in hotels, terrorizing with amplified audible activity, that's what's group stalking right now in the shade, and impossible light activity is directly above his head. All right. They are knowingly and intentionally doing so with the state that stalks in planes and helicopters. That's a basis of federal prison right there. That's what the entity is doing. That's a basis of federal prison. Every single last one of these. G263V1, 6ARB395. Stalking in the path using their vehicle as a method of light while I cross path. 9JDD578. Stalking in the path with a method of light. When are they choosing to reverse? Right now when I approach. 8XCU010. 9JLV992. License 9BRH683. License 9NZR662, 7VBD077. UPS is group stalking. 9JJG289. UPS is a heavily documented group stalker. You already know that. This business is going to be heavily taxed for this state surveillance. 40684X2. They're engaged in conspiring with the state, murder and kidnapping you while those demons hold props such as packages. 9FCV863. Crossing path is this vehicle license. 6AZW800. They're stalking me. They're not going anywhere. They're stalking. This is maintenance of presence in the path. In engineer light that's appearing in the shade. This is impossible light activity, ladies and gentlemen. This is demonic. These are all demons. So is everybody in the Whole Foods parking lot. Everybody in all these skyscrapers over here, or pseudo skyscrapers, they're all group stalking. That's why a whole fake sun is present to monitor me. Demons stalking in the path with light. That's a Nebraska plate. 8PXW227 stalking. 8D4735 Nebraska plate stalking. There's the fake sun. The fake sun is over me at this UPS as early as 11, 12 o'clock in the afternoon. That's not the natural environment. These are sex offenders that are monitoring my genitalia as a population. And while they're group stalking with the entity in planes and helicopters, that's federal prison. This is license 9J50X85. This is obsession, because this is monitoring. This is pacing. These are all demons. This is demonic pacing. These are the demons that are pacing back and forth. That's all they're doing. Look at the fake sun. That's what's controlling, superseding everything that what demons want to appear as being normal, engaging in their everyday ongoing occurrences, and all they're doing is group stalking. That's impossible. For purposes of crossing a path conduct, there's no sunlight. That's the product of a fake sun. All right. And it's also not going to just manifest out of the blue in the shade. This is criminal surveillance via traffic. That's a demon stalking in the path with light activity. You can recognize them by their pattern of conduct in the specific environment. This is P.O.C. This is P.O.C. All right. This is the UPS store stalking in the path. This is ongoing impunity. 8VDJ878. This is impossible light activity in the middle of the road, driving it to monitor you, not the product of where the fake sun is behind, by the way. That's not sunlight appearing on the show. All these demons are group stalking you. 7ABE762, 8JSP276, license DL54N89 paper. This is P.O.C. This is P.O.C. It is currently, again, 4:18 p.m. That's simultaneity of audible activity. These demons are all group stalking me together. Okay, as soon as you see that angle of that fake sun, the horn honks, all of the demons are also monitoring my genitalia pursuant to that same real-time constant knowledge. These are sex offenders in California, and this is impossible light activity. All of this is impossible. This is the same venue where you see them pacing in traffic and impossible light moving inside of the building, and they're group stalking right now. UPS has a fake sun over the top of my head as I stand at this same entrance at the middle of the day. It's currently 4. Look at the time where you're looking at the crime scene, 4:23 p.m. and there's no sun, daylight savings time or not. That would remain at what is the La Quinta Inn, as I'm documenting it off of MARIPOSA in Hesperia, California, outside as I'm returning from the Walmart in Hesperia where a fake sun remained over, and I returned back to that hotel 4 p.m. This is during daylight savings time. We're now outside of daylight savings time. Give or take an hour, you will never account for this impossible maintenance of a fake sun. Duration of time analysis controls. Duration of time analysis. The entity suggests that the natural environment will under any circumstance consist of having a light source in any position. It's over the top of the building. You're talking about 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not the sun. Duration of time analysis and juxtaposition of the crime scenes. That's how you're understanding what is intentional presence in this demonic environment. The demons who are the people of the state, a bunch of sex offending stalkers in California, acting. Their whole life is an act. It's all in a charade. 6REF888, driving an engineer light because he or she is a stalking demon. My shadow was appearing upright on their car. Hello, that's a demon. They're group stalking. This is P.O.C. This is the fake sun. All right, at the UPS store. That's a sex offender monitoring on a communication device. P.O.C., you don't have to know these demons' names. This is the pattern of conduct. The corporate actor Dash, that demon that's driving the bus, is monitoring me, using the vehicle itself as a means of audible activity. And you also know it because impossible light activity, there's my shadow. Hello, that's a demon, just like Omnitrans. Demons driving the buses on the roads and the highways, that's federal prison. Sex offenders, the mentally ill, have no business driving and exercising control over the lives of American citizens. By the way, these are mentally deranged demons that are driving buses. License 1491028. B89, commercial actor, group stalking. Here's the fake sun. This is P.O.C. This is terrorism, domestic terrorism in the U.S. is going to be prosecuted. This is P.O.C. All right, license 9NJZ895 and 8EIX299. They're group stalking in Pasadena, California, where I was subject to state surveillance in 2018. Specifically, I'm referencing 2018 because I was chiefly living in hotels in Pasadena when I relocated from San Bernardino County, under the impression that perhaps it was just a bad experience in San Bernardino County with regard to documenting stalking behaviors by police. But again, a person that's not paranoid is not going to jump to conclusions, will test out the situation, move to a different location, and start over, like I'm perfectly capable of doing with, at that time, a California bar license that was current with regard to paying the fees and whatnot, and having no disciplinary. I never had any issues on my professional record. And so I relocate to LA. I'm living at the hotels on Colorado Boulevard in Pasadena, California, and I find myself subject to the same exact pattern of conduct. the same exact pattern of conduct. And that's also demonstrated through the documentation where I am building on the foundation of prosecuting the state that's surrounding by their behavior also in that demonic environment, all of which is supernatural, so the specific environment. And this is shown through the evidence of what is the P.O.C. That's the, I'm on the, I'm at the target that's on Colorado Boulevard in Pasadena, California. Those two third parties, they just engage in an extraordinarily, I would say, enthusiastic mode of monitoring. And since you want to go out of your way to monitor me, it's like begging the prosecutor, ooh, please, this is the mentally ill. So there you go. Those are two more defendants that are group stalking, and so is Target, and everybody in Target, working at Target, driving around Target, they're group stalking in Pasadena, California. And I've been subject to this pattern of conduct while living at the hotels. Well, everything that was going on inside of my hotel room, just like I'm documenting now in 2024, was a matter of public information in Pasadena amongst the Pasadena police, who you've already seen in helicopters flying over me, stalking me at the McDonald's, stalking me while I'm driving on the roads in the highways. That's exactly what I was subject to in 2018 while I was practicing law with the law offices of Michael Bialis. All right, that was a private criminal defense firm where the police had the ability to gang stalk me at every courthouse where I was practicing law. All right, and there is literally, by my record, of the people of the state who have no benefit of any attorney-client privilege because they were monitoring me. You have forfeited that privilege when you were engaging in criminal activity while I was representing your interests in court. Those are records of the courthouses that were group stalking, the police that were group stalking at those courthouses. The same exact entity were group stalking me at every single court that I was working for. And then I would come at night, returning back to Pasadena, living in the hotels. All right, shopping around for an apartment home. And the people of the state were the demons that would not cooperate with me, knowing what it was that I was looking at as I was putting my interests, whether I wanted a 6-month lease or a 1-month lease or a 1-bedroom with a bathroom inside, et cetera, et cetera. And these demons knew that, and they were uncooperative with regard to, now in other words, I'm understanding now with regard to the P.O.C. and the demons that are monitoring you and they're group stalking you. They know exactly what you're looking at. So when you call a prospect, for example, on Craigslist about an apartment listing, they already know what you're looking for, and oh no, we don't have that. Where it states clearly that you do have that, but you don't when I call you. They were monitoring, and this is again harassment by a bunch of envious demons in California who spend their days and their nights gang stalking American citizens. So that's where I'm at right now. This is P.O.C. It's currently 5:07 p.m. Just giving some context regarding the location where I'm at. This is indeed group stalking. Just greater context history is that I've actually been here subject to the P.O.C. Before I started day-to-day, month-to-month, year-to-year documentation. Alrighty, this is P.O.C. It is currently, by the way, 5:07 p.m. 9 PLC 781, 8 PVC 089, VLB 0412, that's Texas, 7 EIB 178. These are the demons maintaining presence as I walk out of the target. 9HAJ 353, 5ZHF 774, APF 7644, and that's a Wisconsin plate. They're doing their part, maintaining elements of monitoring. You got a demon just sitting in their car. When do they start it? When I walk up. That's audible activity and light activity creation. The demons are just sitting in the parking lot with their headlights on. This is all engineer light. Remember, multiple shadows. The same exact pattern of conduct. These are demons, and this is terrorism. Target is group stalking. All right, let me get another demon while I'm going at it. 9CTL 191, 7NSH 987, 9NHR 449. 7XPD 037, 7LJN 554, 8YWA 940, 6ELU 721, 5DNL 217, 9NRP 140, 7TXC 390, 7BDK 447. All right, she's participating audible activity, light activity on her little beater to monitor. License. I think I read that one. I think I read this one too. 9NFT 387, 9LZX 991. Yeah. 9NFT 367. All right, it's currently 5:29 p.m. Just getting the demons that are, remember, they're all monitoring. They're every single last, and beyond the Target parking lot as well. They're all engaging in a sex offense. They want to molest my body. The demons are predators. They have a predatory mindset. That's the mind of a sex offender. The objective is to touch you, touch all over you, and they like to do that with light because they're group stalking in the engineer light. This is surveillance. This is what's also occurring. It's an unlawful touching. It's part of the perpetual sex offense. They keep you under surveillance in the private space. That's a part of the perpetual sex offense. They monitor you in spaces like bathrooms. Surveillance in bathrooms. That's a part of the perpetual sex offense. It is currently 5:30 p.m. This is the target in Pasadena, California. 3121 East Colorado Boulevard in Pasadena, California, zip code 91107. Criminal facilitation, profiting while engaged in group stalking. Both the employees and the patrons are engaged in state surveillance together. This is public corruption exposed. It's 5:30 p.m. This is P.O.C. License 8ZWE561, stalking in the path. This is criminal presence in the path, open surveillance in public, group stalking with the state. I'm on Colorado Boulevard in Sierra Madre at 5:34 p.m. P.O.C. All right, it's currently 6:02 p.m. I just captured images of. I'm in the city of Pomona. And this is where I'm capturing surveillance while I'm on the roads and the highways. The people of the state are group stalking with the state that's flying over in relevant position across the freeway, which I took still images of, and doing so by helicopter. This is, again, Pomona, California. They have a long documented pattern of state surveillance, and they are doing so now while I'm on the freeway. And the people of the state are group stalking, engaging in surveillance right along with them. I took those images. You can't see the sign, but I was passing the Arrow Highway exit. Now I'm passing the Raging Waters Drive Via Verde exit. The 1 mile away exit. And it's currently 6:03 p.m. This is just with regard to a landmark where I'm located, where the entity is stalking in helicopter, and that is in the city of Pomona. All right. It is currently, again, 6:03 p.m. Flying over in aircraft, license 8MOC145, 8HOW417. They're surrounding on the freeways, group stalking with the entity that's using aerial surveillance to maintain surveillance in concert with the people who are stalking on a freeway. And these are demons. Okay, so it's no secret the Pomona Police Department, which is also the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department. Okay. These are demons, and they're engaged in state surveillance, and a fake moon, as opposed to the fake sun, is directly over my vehicle as well. This is the specific environment at nightfall, okay? Stalking in planes and helicopters with the demons who are the people of the state, pacing all around you, as opposed to living ordinary lives, going about their business. Their business is stalking. Actually, it's not their business to stalk me. It's my business to prosecute and expose the fact that they are consumed with stalking me. All right, and the specific environment is what is superseding a demon-possessed entity, a statewide system that's maliciously trying to masquerade as being normal everyday life. It's 6:04 p.m. This is P.O.C. 8CQD845, monitoring on the freeway, stalking with light activity, and very easily done by the brakes. So they're driving in alignment, monitoring the whole time, ongoing impunity, ongoing obsession. These demons never are cured of their obsession. They never cease to engage in the ongoing elements of monitoring, even while they are witnessing what is a very big hint from the Lord Jesus, stating that maybe you should stop doing what you've been doing because it's no longer a secret. Demons who are also mentally ill, it's manifesting itself in the secular, in the normal life, in the carnal. It's manifesting as mental illness because of those decision making, because of that sort of demented logic, because of the illogical obsession to continue to do so when they're the people of the state are monitoring the evidence. But nonetheless, that's a third party stalking with light activity in the path, with simultaneity to my ceasing to record. The moment that I press the button on my phone and stop recording for this podcast, this third party in relevant position in the specific environment, fake moon over my vehicle, presses on the brakes. Okay, this is not something that is just coincidentally happening. It's the maintenance of light activity with the absence of light, creating light. For example, when you turn a light on, when you turn a light off. For example, when you have hazard lights on, that's the frequency of light on, light off conduct. That's what you're doing when you're pressing your brakes in alignment. That's group stalking on the freeway with simultaneity to my operation of communication device. This is the P.O.C. And so that's why I'm documenting that third party. That's what they're all doing. It's very disturbing when you are aware of the fact that you are surrounded by an army of demons That doesn't make them elite, and it certainly, clearly, it does not make them superior. It doesn't make them all together, in the cumulative. Then they're all smart, because there's more. Clearly, the evidence is showing that's not the case. You have a lot of idiots that are stalking under a fake sun. They're all mimicking the same exact behavior, and they're surrounded by an evidence of their pattern of conduct. And in the face of that knowledge that they have been found out, they persist. That's highly unintelligent and imprudent. Okay. It is currently 6:07 p.m. This is P.O.C. in Pomona, California. All right. Federal stalking and group stalking, license 8NBX 704 at the Starbucks, where the entity is flying over, stalking by helicopter, by the way, 8RXM 202. Everybody's coming out, getting in their vehicles and driving off. That's criminal monitoring. More demons drive up and go in and out of all it is pacing using the drive-through. All they're doing is pacing around. They're all doing it in the specific environment. This is monitoring. 9HRK566. And I took a picture of the third party that's on the video in the black Mercedes. That license is 5AQJ212. That's highly criminal conduct. Very brave to do it in front of the federal government. The entity is going to learn to respect and not engage in violating an American citizen's right to not be gang stalked, meaning in the specific environment, you ought not be caught like you wouldn't if you were committing a robbery. They're going to learn that in the same way you might not want to get caught in relevant position, gang stalking, because that's exactly what it is, and everybody knows that. All right. License 5AQJ212 is group stalking on video. It is currently 6:19 p.m. Stalking with light activity 9FFS 597 with simultaneity to my stopping recording 9EFS 757. You have a demon that's, again, lying in wait necessarily for that perfect timing conduct, that lying in wait behavior, very psychotic. All right. P.O.C. 6:20 p.m. All right, license 9CEB 636, gang stalking with the state that's using helicopters pacing over the Starbucks, where I captured the video moments ago. This is the basis of federal prison, everybody working in the Starbucks. And by the way, Starbucks has a long history, this particular one, of gang stalking me with the Pomona Police Department, who would like to meet me at this Starbucks. And it's very personal with regard to the specific environment. While they line my path with their police vehicles, it's very personal what the state does, and especially what these demons do. While they are convinced that they're getting away with it. This third party, 9CEB 636, is pacing. She's opening up her driver door, opening up her passenger door, bending in while the entity flies over in helicopter. This is all manner of criminal assistance worthy of federal prison. It's also worthy of federal prison because she's also engaged in federal stalking. It's also worthy of federal prison because this demon is monitoring evidence, which is an unlawful intrusion of an ongoing federal investigation that she brazenly participates in right in my face. Okay, gang stalking me right in my face with the state that flew over by helicopter, which is incriminating her. That's federal prison, 9CEB 636. It's 6:33 p.m. Stalking in the path that she reverses, creating light activity, helping the state that's acting with the intent to murder and kidnap an American citizen while engaging in the demonic elements of monitoring. All right. Doing so with the commercial actor Starbucks. They're going in and out of Starbucks. Starbucks is making money while the elements of monitoring are simultaneously underway. Everybody in Starbucks is engaged in federal stalking as well. This is P.O.C. It's currently 6:33 p.m. where that same helicopter, or it doesn't necessarily have to be the same helicopter. Helicopter is flying in relevant position while I'm remaining at the facilitating venue. I'm listening to my podcast. Demons are increasingly hostile. So a very foolish demon that is worthy of being disbanded. This is the Pomona police are gang stalking in Pomona, and also the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department. They maintain contracts in the city for policing as well. And a lot of their criminal conduct, which was targeting my vehicle while the entity knew that I was sleeping in it. And they engaged in a group stalking in a plethora of ways. And I have documented them before, in other words, and the entity stole that evidence, which is also why the Ontario Police and the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department are the primary candidates for disbanding. Ontario Police is out. They're disbanded. Mike Lorenz, all of them, they're done. Okay. And that's exactly what's going to happen. That is required. What they have engaged in is under no circumstances ever going to be tolerated. And it is the same. San Bernardino Sheriff's Department, a very elaborate, very humongous, a lot of offices, if you will, Adelanto, not just, and then they're in Rialto and Glen Helen, in Rancho Cucamonga, and they're all demons. It's an elaborate army of demons, fully corrupt through and through. And the demons that they're placing in the jails are monitoring gang stalking, engaging in psychological torture with them. They are literally an infection to society, and it needs to be thoroughly cleansed. And I don't care how large they are. You are never too big to be prosecuted. You're not above the law. And it is something that in the ways in which you are demonstrating as a humongous, a large aspect of the corrupt law enforcement agencies and of corrupt law enforcement in San Bernardino County. So justice requires, and for the betterment of society, and also to teach a lesson about what will not be tolerated. And it doesn't matter how big that demon thinks that it is. You're not. You will be removed. You will be plucked out. Every single office with regard to moving the demons out. All right. And finding another way in order to, it's a matter of literally rehabilitating society. San Bernardino County is, with regard to corruption, gross level of corruption. Gross level of corruption. Every single last one of them serve Satan. Demon-possessed terrorist leaders calling themselves deputies. All right. And engaged in criminal conduct of a disgusting level when they became privy of the fact that I knew about it and I was documenting it. Their criminal activity became more maniacal, okay, more desperate. All right. That is an agency, a department that's worthy of being removed altogether. And you are not too large to be removed. And everyone in the country will hear that message very clearly. It is currently 6:36 p.m. This is P.O.C. Group stalking with the police, 9NZB241, immediately turning on their turn signal as I began reciting their license plate. They're group stalking with the demons. The corrupt police that are engaged in group stalking out here in Pomona is the Pomona Police Department, and also the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department is within this jurisdiction in Pomona. The entity is patrolling in relevant position to me by helicopter, and they just did so again at approximately 6:40 p.m. This third party is crossing path group stalking with that state. So just want to document that. This is impunity. And I also want to break down, this is the logic of the mentally ill. They will engage in repeating the conduct so as to suggest, first of all, that you're unaffected, which is, that's a federal offense. It's impunity and malice. You're unaffected by the documentation. But the entity, again, trying to assume the posture, which you don't look innocent. Everything around here is a specific environment, and the feds are aware of that. But let me break down the logic of these demons who engage in this malicious system. They persist in their pattern of conduct. And what they do with the helicopter activity, it's really ridiculous. You're flying in circles above my head at the Walmart. You're flying over me at every Walmart that I go to, as a matter of fact. You're not maintaining any posture that's supposed to be deceptive regarding what is innocent, and being able to identify what is the pattern of conduct. And by the way, where the pattern of conduct is underway, there's no exception, meaning, oh, this city's innocently flying above you in helicopter in the perimeter, and that city over there, they're gang stalking. No, that's not it either. There is no exception, and the evidence proves that. What the entity, what these demons revealing mentally ill state actors. This is, again, it's pointing directly to the chief of police. It's pointing directly to the captain over that particular office within the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department. It's pointing directly to Robert Luna, the demon over the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department. And the demon that was the previous, however long Robert Luna has been in office as the sheriff, it's pointing directly to the demon that's sitting in position, in other words. Okay. So 6:40 p.m., the demon is pacing over again the Starbucks in relevant position off of Temple, and doing so again. This is less than 2 minutes later at 6:43. This is called patrolling, demonic patrolling, just crossing path over and over again. That's what they're doing via aircraft over the Starbucks. Group stalking with them, 8YDN 142. Driving past me in the parking lot, flying over the venue. These are demons who are pacing together. The demons inside of the Starbucks are walking. They're all monitoring together, just giving you a macro level in your mind, understanding what is ongoing activity creation. And it's demonic activity. And the demons in their minds, they are literally based on the pattern of conduct, and they engage in a behavior that is designed to, based on the malice, as they have exhibited, and I have documented, and I have proven the malice is relevant to the ways in which you must be prosecuted. They engage in the pattern of conduct such that license 9GOE 593, I believe, they engage in the pattern of conduct such that they will continuously engage in that which you are documenting, and this is also supposed to appear as ignorance? Oh, of course, because if we were monitoring evidence, all right, so the defendant would contend, if we were monitoring evidence, why, and we were doing something criminal, why, pray tell, would one continue to do that? Also, you're talking about what is consciousness of guilt if they cease to engage in it. So it's analogous to the saying, damned if you do, damned if you don't. But actually, with regard to prosecuting the pattern of conduct, it is damned if you do, period. Period. That sort of logic does not work. You are looking at what is akin to strict liability prosecution for group stalking upon establishing the pattern of conduct by the state. And that's exactly what's already laid out. The entity is engaging in what is exhibiting demon possession, repeatedly flying in relevant position over you. This is also psychological torture, which is relevant for federal prison. It's pointing directly to all the terrorist leaders that are masquerading as law enforcement agencies while you're in whatever city. So you're documenting what it is that you're subject to, which is already established within this pattern of conduct, this specific environment. That is, who's the police department in that city, who's the sheriff's department in that county. It's pointing directly to their prosecution. Okay, doing so with impunity is what this is. Not the appearance of anything innocent, not the appearance of anything that's just coincidental. Whether you do it every day, when you're doing it over me, it's called the pattern of conduct. I'm being targeted. The fake sun remains over me, which is also a matter of documentation right here in Pomona. That's never coexisting with what will be the natural environment no matter what year. So 2018 in December, you're talking about what would be outside of daylight savings time. The entity maintaining a fake sun, daylight savings time or not, it remained rising and setting in alignment to me, where the LAPD were engaging in the same pattern of conduct in LA, where I lived and worked. Never left the property. Fake sun stayed all day. When I left the property, that fake sun could not remain over Alvarado Gardens while I captured it over me on the roads and highways. For example, going to the Glendale DMV, going to the Social Security office off of 8th and Columbia. Okay, this is the pattern of conduct, and there is nothing innocent. So while I'm documenting 643, the ongoing demonic patrolling by stalkers that use helicopters and planes, that's pointing directly to the corrupt terrorist organizations, and there is no appearance of anything innocent. The federal government is looking at you like the brave stalkers that you are. All right, this is the headline news that the entity is being, I guess, informed about. But this is, again, the entity that has never been confronted to this degree. That's called amplification and engineered light. And so the ongoing defiant, mentally ill, sex-offending group stalkers, the terrorists in California, are going to be treated like the dangerous animals that they are when they're prosecuted. These are the same ones chasing me down day and night, monitoring my genitalia. That's a part of the ongoing amplified traffic. Those are the demons that are pacing around my hotel room while it's impossible to hear you from the 210 freeway. That's a sex offender that's monitoring and is a real-time reaction while the demons are pacing in relevant position in helicopter. They do not look innocent. It is nothing coincidental. By the way, Pomona is already documented engaging in state terrorism. It's pointing directly to the demons of the city police who are engaging in state terrorism. It's pointing directly to the county sheriff, the sheriff's department, whoever has jurisdiction that where they're exercising fictitious authority and state surveillance is underway. That's what's being documented. And they do so with the demons that fill the city of Pomona. It's public corruption. That's also a basis for disbanding. You've made yourself a wound, an infection, as opposed to being there to protect and serve and facilitate lawfulness. Law-abiding citizens. You're not encouraging that. All right. It is currently 6:48 p.m. So I just want to document that while the entity is also engaged in federal stalking. So this is the ongoing pacing. These are demons that are pacing in the sky space with helicopter repeatedly over and over again. And the body of evidence is already showing that they're listening to every word that I utter while they're engaging in that very brave conduct. Again, this is corrupt police, sheriff's departments who, again, they have been so long under this illusion where they're seeking to create an illusion against a target individual that's supposed to result in their murder and or kidnapping. That illusion has been absolutely removed. That's not happening. You're learning and you're witnessing it's actually the demon possessed who are under an illusion that the program that they've been operating under is, for any reason, when any sane person takes a look at the landscape, what you're doing is very plain to see now. The illusion that you sought to create is not, it's not there. So you are seen. If you want to walk around naked and create an illusion that you have on a three-piece suit, All right. Perhaps the illusion created before, everyone was convinced that, no, you're not naked. You have on a 3-piece suit. Everyone sees you walking around in the nude clearly. Okay. There's no illusion there. This is what the demon possessed who are highly deceived. All right. And also, literally, that's providence by the Lord Jesus, the malice that they sought to utilize to threaten an American citizen's life and existence. All right, is now flipping on its head. And they are shown to be the very severely mentally ill criminals who are literally not paying attention to common sense. I mean, common sense. You're looking at the facts. You're looking at the evidence. It's just not prudent. So you're talking about your days of abusing your position and looking like a hero when you're actually a sex offender, a criminal. Those days are gone. You're seen for exactly what you are. And as I document you, it is unmistakable. Unmistakable. Light activity, crossing path. A Caucasian demon-possessed group stalker, BU47E04. Paper plate on a white, this is a Mercedes truck. All right. Group stalking at 6:50 p.m. With the entity that is, again, I'm documenting patrolling by helicopter. Remember, patrolling is done by demons. So this is also another a mentally ill department. They've got weapons. They're exercising authority that they don't have while they're group stalking. All right. They're mixing in criminal conduct with authority under the Constitution to arrest people and charge them with crimes when they need to be arrested and charged with very serious crimes. That is another basis of disbanding. Just want to be clear. There's a wealth of evidence, but I have maintained a conservative record regarding disbanding, and it includes the Ontario Police for a pattern of kidnapping. Oh, no, you will not be kidnapping the target individual. You're going to federal prison for it because they did it. They're also going to be disbanded. All right. And they also engaged in kidnapping with the demons in the courthouse. They're going to federal prison. They've been documented. They're going to federal prison. Everybody participating and trying to sacrifice an American citizen. You have sacrificed your own freedom. I don't care where you live. I don't care where you moved. I don't care when you retired. There is no statute of limitations. You can look forward to federal prison. The entity is pacing again at 6:51 p.m. in helicopter directly over the venue. License DU47E04, stalking in the path with a method of light. All right, this is pointing directly to San Bernardino County Sheriff and the Pomona Police, who are, again, there's a pattern of documentation. Also in 2022, they're group stalking in Pomona under the fake sun, where I'm getting on the Omnitrans, nowhere near Pomona, okay? But the fake sun is remaining over me en route to Pomona from Ontario. Again, nowhere near Los Angeles, where the sun is rising and setting, okay? Certainly nowhere near Hesperia. All right. Daylight savings time is giving or taking an hour. There is no reconciling what I've shown. The impossibility that a sun rises and sets at one address, and then you have the maintenance of the fake sun over me for no matter what state I'm in. I go from California to Nevada, no matter what time that I remain at one address, no matter the fact that I am in an entirely different region. All right. That's not the natural environment, and that is not the sun. You can also tell that it's not the sun because it's literally like a low hanging, over exaggerated in size light source. That's why I refer to it as a fake sun, as a light source. It's not the sun. It is literally the environment where the witch coven is stalking. They're practicing their demonic system. And that's clearly shown. All right. This is pacing in the sky space in Pomona. And this is, again, for the long with Pomona Police. They don't have any legitimacy. They've been documented since 2018. And they're group stalking over in relevant position with the Caucasian female who's stalking in the path with light. Not by herself, but she is taking on the role of stalking, getting right in front of me, maintaining her foot on the brake with regard to a method of light activity. All right, again, that's license DU47E04. This is another senior citizen going to federal prison. License 7BIF772, crossing path with light activity. These demons are pacing together, and they're pacing in the sky space using helicopters. This is P.O.C. All right, sex offender going out of their way to touch 21434R2. This sex offender is pulling up to the Starbucks in Pomona, California. The entity is flying over again. The fake moon is over my car. And the entity is pacing in helicopter. This is, again, federal prison. And a sex offender goes out of their way to touch you. You're driving by me, and then you reverse in front of me in order to back into the parking space. This is a demon that just wants to touch and aim light, especially while I'm uploading videos. That's what's also notable. They're engaged in federal stalking. I'm uploading videos and the ongoing objective to touch in some manner with light. The entity is stalking in helicopter. This is all manner of ding, 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 ding. Yeah, this is P.O.C. Everywhere I'm going, the entity is stalking in helicopters. And the fake moon in Pomona, no longer over the Hesperia Courtyard by Marriott, no longer over Woodside Senior Apartments. It's perpetually present over everyone in the country, everywhere, which is the asininity that the entity suggests when you document the clear signs and indicators of criminal conduct of a demonic nature. State surveillance, domestic terrorism, and a lot of demons going to federal prison. It is currently 7 p.m. All right, license 8 UGS 235. Stalking in the path at the Starbucks, monitoring with the, what are you using to stalk with noise in a parking lot? Typically a car alarm, amplified traffic, somebody roaring their engine, random noises also, but they typically like to adjust it to the type of venue where you're at. You're recognizing the pattern and never marrying it to the image, the method used. So this demon, in other words, as I get out of my car, open my trunk, as I close my trunk and I'm engaging in opening my door. In other words, as I move, mirroring my movement with noise creation. So this demon stalking in the path with their foot on the brake, that's light activity, relevant positioning. It's demonic. This is a psychopath, and the demons are obsessed with stalking you in the path with light. All right. They do so even while you're in a building. They are in alignment to you inside of that building, aiming light. Okay. Or flashing light. This is what you see at Woodside Senior Apartments. It's not merely the structure of the property. It's called relevant positioning and light activity. This is what's happening in a parking lot, a vehicle right in front of me as a method of light activity, license 8 UGS 235. And this psychopath is also stalking my movement with their door closure. So they're sitting in their car already. And so the doors are all closed. But at the moment that I am putting my briefcase in my car, I'm laughing not because it's funny, but the mental illness is not funny. It's very serious. But it's so pathetic at the same time. You're sitting in your car and the doors are already closed, but you have what is closing the door as a method of stalking me with noise. Again, sex offender, 8 UGS 235. They're also monitoring my genitalia. Okay. That level of detail, that hovering stalking conduct is centered around my genitalia. Let that sink in your mind, because that's what's group stalking. All right. It's currently 7:14 p.m. P.O.C. Stalking with light activity with simultaneity to my uploading videos to publish on YouTube, 8KXH864. This is P.O.C. at 7:15 p.m. I'm currently publishing onto the Google Drive and onto YouTube. And so demons that engage in the uncanny ability to create methods of activity, light, noise, or just appearing out of nowhere, or they were already there and they engage in some sort of movement, which is, again, relevant in the engineer light. They're stalking you with activity. They are with simultaneity to what you do, including on communication devices, creating activity. The uncanny ability to do that are the demon possessed. And they're doing so on behalf of a corrupt government that doesn't have any lawful authority to stalk you, because that's what you're doing in the specific environment. They just sought to do it and you would never be able to identify it. And they thought that if you even tried to, that they could kidnap you and then call you, label you mentally insane. That's why they're going to federal prison for that. That level of malice is absolutely intolerable for a government to be engaged in that level of criminal and evil conduct. Whew. Yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan. That's what the government sought to execute and has executed. Okay, there are people that are kidnapped right now, and all of these sex offenders need to be in mental wards. They're the ones that are, and they will be. Many of them are going. But this is understanding the tragic injustice by targeted individuals. They're sitting around kidnapped somewhere, and you have lawlessness on the streets, masquerading as normal everyday society. These are the ticking time bombs, and I just want to be clear. You're waiting for the day where you get another evening news headline regarding some senseless shooting or some act of violence or some rape against children or some mass sex trafficking scheme. It's these demons. It's the people of the state. And the state is engaging in criminal conduct. They're not alerted about what they're engaging in as a society. They're a part of it. Those demons act like they're law enforcement, and these demons act like they're normal everyday citizens engaging in crimes that nobody expected. There's no criminal record. There was no sign that they would ever be engaged in that. By all means, they're a lovely, healthy contributor to society. I mean, these are the entity. This is the entity that's group stalking. All right. And that third party, 8KXH864, group stalking while the demons are patrolling again over the Starbucks. And in the video, you saw them fly by and then they flew over me. They're engaging in that ongoing pattern of conduct, pacing over the Starbucks in relevant position. And this is again at what is 7:17 p.m. While demons are engaged in the same exact behavioral pattern. And it's not a coincidence in the specific environment. This is the whole system Same exact system that's underway, and they're monitoring evidence that belongs to the federal government. Okay, if you have any notion, any wherewithal, any knowledge about the doctrine of supremacy, that's a very serious crime. They're not, in other words, the state isn't even qualified to be touching this evidence, to be looking at it, keeping it under surveillance, monitoring it, harassing you while you submit it to the feds, because that's how they're going to be treated. This is a matter of supremacy. What are you doing? What business do you have with regard to evidence that belongs to the federal government? Because that's what they're doing when they're engaged in federal stalking. Both the state, the demons that are masquerading as law enforcement, and the demons, the people of the state, vastly varying in education, his background, whatever. Just some random demon on the sidewalk monitoring evidence that belongs to the federal government. You're not even qualified. Like I said, the absurdity of what the entity does, and they are woefully unprepared for the ways in which it's going to be legislated around. You're going to surround them now with laws and prosecute it. All right. It's currently 7:18 p.m. This is P.O.C. License 9LNR894, stalking with light activity, pacing with 8 MOB 101. These demons are in a frenzy, monitoring around, and also aware of the fact that I'm documenting them. So they're still monitoring even while they speed off, creating light activity all the same in relevant position. Impossible light activity on the inside of my car, underneath the where your feet go. How was light moving around down there while you are outside of my car driving on the asphalt outside? Because that's a demon that's stalking. That's the license plate of the demons who are pacing, monitoring what I'm uploading onto the internet right now. I'm in the process of putting together the podcast in order to publish it. And the entity is stalking by helicopter. This is P.O.C. It's currently 7:26 p.m. Capturing double shadows outside. Double shadows, again, this is not it's a scientific impossibility that when you're standing under a artificial light, that you're going to have like perpendicular shadows like I just documented outside. This is just ongoing confirmation of what I've already established. This is group stalking. And you have the impossible light activity while demons who are stalking in helicopter, and it's nothing but stalking in helicopter, continuously patrol in relevant position, and while I'm at the Starbucks off of Temple in Pomona, and also QCD, quality customs distribution, in the specific environment with the method of light activity. The flashes are on, engineered light, stalking by helicopter, all manner of all of the signs for what is state surveillance. And you have a commercial actor. That's a picture of malice. Okay, this is the entity that is group stalking while making money as well. This is the public safety concern because of that level of malice. And it's also with regard to the intolerable facilitation by the corrupt society, who are the people of the state. Okay, this is rampant public corruption. And when you want to employ your business establishment, you're making money while group stalking with the government, that's exactly the type of things that are going to be intensely attacked with regard to the operation, what the government is requiring in order to engage in this group stalking system. And it is currently 8:15, where you will see impossible light activity. My shadow is perpendicular. This demon that's delivering items into Starbucks is a demon that's pacing. All right. Having packages is nothing other than patrolling back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. This demon wants to appear productive. They're doing so with engineered light, flashing lights on the vehicle. That's light activity in the specific environment where I have perpendicular shadows. Okay, that's not the natural environment, and that's the ongoing objective of group stalking with the state that I also captured, that I've been documenting rather. Patrolling above in helicopter. This is P.O.C. It's currently 8:15 p.m. The license plate of this demon that is stalking the commercial actor, quality custom distribution as well, is stalking and engaged in federal stalking. All right, this quality distribution, this is indeed criminal monitoring, and the license plate of quality distribution is an Indiana plate, license 3122743. And this is a third party, both the driver of this commercial vehicle is a group stalker engaged in federal stalking. This is prosecution, and also the company itself is engaged in facilitating group stalking and group stalking, federal stalking under Title 18. It's currently 8:16 p.m. This is P.O.C. Again, license 8ZVF 566. Stalking in the path at the Starbucks. Monitoring my internet activity online. It's 8:44 p.m. All right, it's 9:05 p.m. Engaging in criminal summoning with the state at 9:01 p.m. License 6AGZ179 8FJU786. The state drives on Temple crossing path and does so sounding sirens. As they cross path with me, the sirens start and stop. License 8RXM202, license 7EIB025. And that is, again, the third party that's been engaged in surveillance. You hear them starting their ignition. They've been monitoring, stalking in the path by engaging in open surveillance, a threat to your life. Maintaining that stalking presence in my path while the entity engaged in criminal summoning, which is the basis of federal prison. All right, again, it is currently 9:06 p.m. That's P.O.C. All right, license 8MNM193. All right, license plate 9ERV636. It's currently 9:34 p.m. Alrighty, it is currently 10:01 p.m. And the people of the state are gang stalking with the, I believe I'm in West Covina right now, helicopter in alignment to me as I'm driving down the street, 5HAL000. License 7DOU451, 6Y31465, 5ZKV705. GMS 530, that's Florida. 8DVT 612. 97270Z1 21286T2 6VXA 702. These are the people of the state that are group stalking with the police, who are stalking me down the street as I'm on the roads and the highways with helicopters on the outside of what is the driver's side of my vehicle. This is literally, as the population is chasing me down, so is the state. And this is documentation that's relevant to the ways in which the state of California is going to be inevitably prosecuted. All right, based on this this obsessive stalking conduct by literally the government, 7XYY768. You got a lot of sex offenders and psychopaths that are a part of law enforcement. They're going to be weeded out. Okay, there's going to be a comprehensive plucking of psychopaths. Those are trying to cover up their mental illness while they're on the force. 841MON, that's Oregon. Because that is why you have what I'm documenting. Every city I'm going to, the police are stalking. 9AJE198. All right, this is speaking to the widespread influence of Satan over a people. 9BWP531. 7HYV280, 7LSS394, 6173669, 8GQZ873, over a people, and also that has a dangerous affect. Clearly, this is why they're gang stalking. Okay, the entity is doing so, and they're showing the fact that these are barbarians. These are not people that are stalking while being on the a part of what is law enforcement. But again, the entity that's engaged in group stalking will not be credited. They will not be honored with the title of law enforcement. They're going to be treated like the animals that they are. These are terrorist organizations. That's why they're stalking, right? And they're acting with malice while they do so. So this is, I'm at Grandview Lane and Amar. And matter of fact, 1 second. All right, documentation, stalking in the path with the police. Excuse me. 8YEC862. Let me go ahead and get an address of where I'm located. It's 10:04 p.m. All right, group stalking by the people of the state at third-party facilitating venue 953 Grandview Lane. This is in La Puente, California, 91744, where the state is stalking me by helicopter. This is speaking to a demon infected. This is a mentally ill. These are closeted psychopaths. These are group stalkers, and they call themselves police officers. Okay, this is the rooting out work that I am engaging in while I'm subject to stalking. It literally, the cockroaches come out. All right, and they tell on themselves. I'm documenting the people of the state. And at third-party facilitating venue, impossible light activity, group stalking by helicopter, the population is group stalking me. And I just read license plates of the people of the state on what is Grandview Lane, which is the same. The entity was flying in alignment to me while I'm driving on Grandview Lane. And the address surrounding, again, not just this third-party facilitating venue, but the people of the state together are group stalking. And the address is, again, is 953 Grandview Lane in La Puente, 91744. It's currently 10:06 p.m. This is P.O.C. All right, getting surveillance in the parking lot. Just a bunch of demons just sitting around, just group stalking in the middle of the night. License plate 5PDD217 8AMU339. That's audible activity while they're stalking in the path. License 8LXK054. Group stalking, let me see, with the, you already know that Stater Brothers is group stalking. Stater Brothers in San Bernardino, Stater Brothers in Fontana, Stater Brothers in Hesperia, 9KBA446, or whether that was Stater Brothers in Victorville, but the city of Hesperia and any and all Stater Brothers. I'm just giving you examples. Stater Brothers is a fully corrupt company, and they're group stalking in California. License plate 9AJD851, 8REG582, 7RJG754, 9BBY075, 9BML842, 9GRR340. Again, in La Puente, driving on AMAR. The entity is stalking me in helicopters, and these are demons. This is psychotic conduct. They're obsessed with maintaining a method of light, and they're doing so in a whole circus environment. Remember, it's engineered light. That's the objective of demons who are stalking, and they know where I am at before I arrive. This is massive surveillance, and these are mentally ill sex offenders. Okay, 11527Y3. No exaggeration. This is what the demons are doing. This is their criminal system. This is P.O.C. 7MCN995. On Amar Road, let me go ahead and document this. Stater Brothers is group stalking at 1025 Amar Road. This is inside of a shopping plaza, so the AutoZone is group stalking. There's a Zumba here, a 99-cent store. I'm going to go ahead and screenshot my location right now with regard to the venue that's group stalking with the state. With the terrorist organizations masquerading as police, okay? You have demons sitting in their vehicles, going to their vehicles, license 91690M3. That demon's walking to their vehicle so they can create activity. So I'm gonna go ahead and beat them to the punch and get that license plate. Coming in the path with light, stalking, waiting to engage in activity. 8WNH926. Sitting in the vehicle doing the same psychotic stalking behaviors. 6LBZ 338, just sitting in the car waiting for the moment where it would be most opportune to stalk with activity, and that's what they're doing. An army of them sitting in the dark in a parking lot in the specific environment, patrolling one demon after another, driving by. They're stalking together. It's group stalking. All right, so I'm just reading all their license plates because they're group stalking, and the police always gives them all away. Everybody goes to federal prison for that when you're documenting that. All right, and it's also incriminating. You go to the nearest parking lot and document every demon there. License 8RKN186 is crossing path again. It's currently 10:10 p.m. Let me get my address right now. Yes, this is West Covina Police. As I'm already aware of this, I'm just confirming my location. West Covina are documented terrorists and group stalkers. I've documented them before, again, 2018. This is not new, and they're confirming that they are still engaged in state surveillance. They are acting with impunity, and it's pointing directly to every police department and the sheriff's department, and it's incriminating the people of the state, while in West Covina, the entity is stalking me by helicopter. It's currently 10:11 p.m. 37190W2 7ROX258. Impossible light activity moving inside of my car while they drive by. License 9JLT931. License 7UYM478. P.O.C. License 9DES225. It is currently 10:40 p.m.